his way towards the Afghanistan players after their win. He tried to celebrate with the players but was eventually caught by security, who proceeded to rather roughly escort him off the field of play in a bid to make an example out of him. But this wasn't the only such instance of a pitch invader going too far, as a similar incident took place during Bangladesh's game against New Zealand. A pitch invader ran onto the field when New Zealand all-rounder Rachin Ravindra scored 100 and celebrated with him while brandishing a photo and then ran off the ground. The incident had left the PCB red-faced, and they even issued a statement promising to combat the issue and to ensure it doesn't happen again. The PCB has taken serious note of the security breach that occurred yesterday when a spectator entered the field of play. Ensuring the safety of players and officials remains our top priority. As a responsible organization, we have engaged with local security agencies who have committed to increasing security personnel around the field of play at all venues and strengthening access control measures. Before the tournament had even gotten underway, a video had gone viral where a number of fans were seen looking to illegally enter the National Stadium in Karachi, which was a serious breach of security. To then make matters worse, another incident took place at Karachi that saw a man arrested for trying to enter the stadium using a fake accreditation card. But the pitch invasion did not overshadow the result, as Afghanistan eliminated England from the Champions Trophy with a stunning 8-run victory on Wednesday. Opening batter Ibrahim Zadran smashed the tournament's highest ever individual score of 177 off 146 balls with 12 fours and 6 sixes and led Afghanistan to 325 for 7. England were bowled out for 317 with Joe Root's knock of 120 going in vain. Root had kept England in the hunt, but once he gloved fast bowler Azmatullah Omarzai behind the wickets in the 46th over, Afghanistan kept their nerves despite a few fumbles in the field to record a memorable win with 1 ball to spare.
Fighting against the NEP and third language implementation in the state, the DMK student wing protesters are outside IIT fighting against the Minister of Education, flagging a black flag protest, stating that they would not accept NEP or Hindi imposition in the state. More updates coming up from Chennai. We'll be right back after a short break.
Hello everyone, how you doing? Namaskar, I'm Ricky Cage and I'm super excited that on the 6th of March, I'm going to be at the Republic Plenary Summit. It's going to be absolutely awesome and it's happening at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. So remember, let us see each other at the Republic Plenary Summit March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. See you there.
Hi, this is Adnan Sami here, and I'll be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This happens to be India's largest news event, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Save this date. I will see you on March 6th.
Hi guys, this is Sania Mirza and I will be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This is India's largest summit organized by Republic Media, India's leading news network. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. See you all there.
Hello everyone, how you doing? Namaskar, I'm Ricky Cage and I'm super excited that on the 6th of March, I'm going to be at the Republic Plenary Summit. It's going to be absolutely awesome and it's happening at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. So remember, let us see each other at the Republic Plenary Summit March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. See you there.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah reviews Delhi security. Delhi CM and Delhi LG also part of the key meeting. Republic accesses CAG report against previous Aam Aadmi Party government. Report reeks of medical abda. Over 72 hours later, Pune police ring fence and detained rape accused Dattatreya from sugarcane field. Language row intensifies. DMK now unleashes its student wing black flag protest ahead of Union Minister's visit. All right, viewers, we're live breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla, getting you the latest coming in. Getting in visuals from Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who is reviewing Delhi security. The Delhi CM and Delhi LG also are part of the key meeting. These are back-to-back updates coming in here on Republic TV, viewers. The meeting has begun. Amit Shah is chairing the key meeting, which is taking place. And top officials are present in that meeting, including the Delhi CM, Rekha Gupta, including other officials, the Delhi Home Minister, as well. Very important meeting given the fact that the law and order situation of Delhi is going to get reviewed in this meeting. We'll try to connect to our colleague as well in a short while from now, who will be right outside the Ministry of Home Affairs covering the story from the ground. But back-to-back updates coming in right now on Republic TV, viewers. And what we see are more updates. Amit Shah chairing that key meeting, high-level meeting to review the security situation in the national capital. And to take our viewers through what exactly could be the agenda of that meeting and what are we trying to pick up from there, I would like to go to Piyush Shori. Piyush, if you could take our viewers through what exactly is the agenda of this meeting, because what we see right now is that the law and order situation will be reviewed. We'll also be coming to know, if you could take our viewers through those details, what are the other points which will be raised at this key meeting which is being chaired by Home Minister Amit Shah.
So Shivangi, what I can tell you is that the seriousness of this entire meeting can be gauged from the fact that top officials of Delhi Police, along with Cabinet Minister Ashish Sood and Delhi Chief Minister, have come over here at this meeting. also important to note that top bureaucrats that are there in the Delhi government have also come over here for the meeting. So thereby you can understand that how crucial this meeting is, which is going to be chaired by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Now, it is also important to note that 2 months back also the Union Home Minister had chaired a meeting with Delhi Police Commissioner Sanjay Arora over the law and order situation, which is one of the most pressing points and which was one of the points which was raised by the former Delhi government of how its deteriorating state of affairs is also in a way affecting the national security. So let me just first tell you that as far as the Delhi police is concerned, which top officials have come over here at this meeting. So yes, it is being led by the Delhi Police Commissioner Sanjay Arora. It is then being led by the Special Police Commissioner Crime Branch Devesh Chandra Srivastav, Special Police Commissioner Law and Order Zone 1 Madhav Tiwari. Now Madhav Tiwari is the person who had led the charge of identifying and deporting all those Bangladeshis that were residing illegally in the national capital. So yes, Madhav Tiwari is also a part of this meeting. Along with this, there is also then the newly elected Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta and Delhi Cabinet Minister Ashish Sood. Now, among the key agendas which are going to be discussed as far as the law and order is concerned is definitely the organized crime activities. Now, Delhi is unfortunately becoming a hub of all those criminals that are involved in organized crime. So yes, we are seeing that groups that are involved, that are getting affiliated with Lawrence Bishnoi, gangs that are affiliated with Arshdeep Dalla are operating over here in the national capital. How these gangs can be reined in is going to be first priority that is going to be discussed in the meeting. Also, the Union Home Minister has raised several times that he wants to make sure that drug peddling and drug smuggling gets completely eliminated from Delhi and rest parts of the country. So yes, this is also going to be discussed by the top officials of Delhi Police along with the Delhi government. Lastly, today this meeting is being held at a time when a terrorist who was involved in terror funding was arrested from Delhi. So yes, this is also going to be discussed of how anti-national activities can be eliminated from national capital. Stay tuned to Republic Media Network as we bring you minute-to-minute update of this crucial law and order meeting which is being chaired by the Union Home Minister in North Block.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
Today, India is a country that never stops. न रुकेंगे, न धीमा पड़ेंगे, न थमेंगे, ये इंडिया ने ठान लिया है। हमारी सारी नीतियां, सारी योजनाएं सर्वजन हिताय, सर्वजन सुखाय, राष्ट्र हित से ही तय हो।
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Hello everyone, this is Ranveer Brar and I'm honored to be speaking at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025. India's most powerful gathering of leaders, visionaries and changemakers. Under the theme of Limitless India, we celebrate the spirit of innovation that has shaped our country and its future. It's going to be a power-packed summit and you can join me as we discuss the next chapter of India's transformation. See you at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on the 6th of March, only on Republic Media Network.
Hi, this is Adnan Sami here, and I'll be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This happens to be India's largest news event, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Save this date. I will see you on March 6th.
Hello everyone, how you doing? Namaskar, I'm Ricky Cage and I'm super excited that on the 6th of March, I'm going to be at the Republic Plenary Summit. It's going to be absolutely awesome and it's happening at Bharat Mandapam.
And with her is Niranjan Narayan Swamy, Executive Editor for Republic TV, a voice of authority and insight, joining us here on the stage. Over to you, Niranjan.
Thank you for that, Rakshita, and thank you, Manushi, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. So, was going through your entire journey. How did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this, we all love to be princesses, and that was the idea in a 4-year-old girl's mind, that Miss India means you get to be the princess of the country, and that's what I thought. Then, life happened, and I think I pretty much never thought about it again up until I was 14, and I remember watching the Miss World finals again, and it was being telecasted on a television channel, and I remember watching the finals, and suddenly, my interest into the competition sparked, because I realized that this is so much more. It's a platform for young girls from every field. You could be anyone from anywhere, and it's a great platform to get visibility, which also increases the amount of opportunities you have. Where I come from, growing up, you had to either choose to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. I remember my relatives telling me, "Koi baat nahi beta, kuch nahi hua to graduation ke baad IAS ki tayari kar lena." So those were the options that I grew up with. Acting was never a plan. It happened pretty much after winning Miss World. I went to Miss World thinking that it's a great platform, a great experience, and then let's see what happens. And I always tell this to people who come to me and they tell me that, so if we want to be actors, what do we do? And I say that I'm the wrong person to ask that question, because I'm not one of those who would leave everything and just go to Mumbai to become an actor. I believe in having a certain level of security before you try something new in life. There is a certain risk attached to it, but I think that has to be a calculated amount of risk that you need to take. That's how I've been brought up. So it was only after I won Miss World and after I had that platform, when I got the right kind of opportunities, when I transitioned into films. And I guess that's how acting happened.
Okay. Let me put it this way. So you won the Miss World pageant 17 years after Priyanka Chopra, am I correct?
Yes.
17 years after Priyanka Chopra. So it's not easy.
It isn't.
It's not easy. So at the Youth Summit, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people thought about it. It may have come to people's minds. Like you said, I mean, when you growing up, you wanted to be there on the big stage. But how difficult is it? What goes into being there on the big stage and winning it?
I was a very confident kid. I was a kid who was always told by her parents that you're great, you can do whatever you want to do. I never thought much, and I think it's a good thing it happens at that age when you don't have too much perspective about the world, because you're just so confident. Your confidence is at top. Your experience is zilch. I just wanted to have that experience of being on that stage. I didn't think much. Honestly, for me, it was just an experience that I wanted to have. I remember when I was going for the competition, there was a lot of pressure, especially because once you win Miss India, there's a proper boot camp that you're put into. So 3 months of lots of training. And
What kind of training?
Well, I was very raw. Let's start with just basic grooming of how to be in front of the camera, how to be on stage, because pageantry is all about presenting yourself in the best possible manner. There's no real preparation for it. It's whenever people ask me, I was 20 when I won Miss World, so it was 20 years of just understanding yourself, and then 3 months of understanding how to present yourself in the best manner on that stage. I pretty much, so the training pretty much included oh my God, learning how to do my own makeup and hair, the frivolity of what pageants are also about, but then putting your thoughts across, reading a lot about pageants, reading about past winners, about what Miss World had been doing for so many years, about all the projects that they support. So I think a combination of many things, simple things like standing on stage. I remember a very small article my mother once pulled out saying that you really have to work on your leg muscles because you'll have to be in 6-inch heels on that stage. So these simpler things, putting it all together. I guess that was the prep that I was going through. But once the prep was done, I remember when I was at the airport and I was boarding my flight to China, the team came and they told me we have a lot of hopes and we haven't won the crown in a very long time. And we need to prove ourselves as a team because we're a new team and we need to have that winner and we do believe in you. Yeah. So I said, okay, no pressure. But the minute I sat on that flight, I said, one in millions of girls get this opportunity to even compete or to go and interact with the kind of people I got to interact with. So I said, now the prep is done. I'm just going to have fun. And that's what I did. I just had fun.
No, I'm sure, because I'm sure it took a lot also to crack an MBBS exam and get into a college and study medicine.
This was fun for me.
So, okay, let me put it this way. You were studying medicine.
Yes.
And then you went into pageantry.
I did.
And then you moved to acting.
I did.
And you're also an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I heard that
Trying
today.
to be.
I've just started. I just started out last year, so it's not even been a year. But I think the whole idea is for me to. See, I've always had little dreams as a child, and I've always looked up to so many people who were doing great things, celebrated people. Whenever I'd see them on television doing wonderful things, I always said, okay, I want to do this and that. And I think the beauty of life and the beauty of today's world is that you get to do multiple things, and you don't need to just stick to that one thing that you're supposed to do. And that's what I'm trying to do. I am doing films, and but along with that, healthcare has always been my first passion. It's my first love. It's every dinner conversation in our family. And my father, he is into regenerative medicine. So every night, he's constantly discussing whatever is the new research, which doctor is trying what in which part of the world, and what are the results. So there's always, so that's something which comes very naturally to me. And I always wanted to become a doctor, and I wanted to, initially I thought I'll become a surgeon, and all my professors kind of pushed me into that direction because I was very good at dissection and in anatomy. I was very good. So they said, you'll be a very good surgeon. But I think regenerative medicine, especially when I traveled as Miss World, really sparked my interest. And I said, okay, if I cannot do it as a doctor, I do have a lovely doctor at home who's doing it. So we both decided to together start our own little clinic for regenerative medicine and try to bring all the therapies that we were reading about people doing in the States or other parts of the world. Apart from that, I do have my own beachwear brand. Fashion's always interested me, and I'm a complete beach bum. I absolutely love being by the sea, and I said, why not have an Indian brand that talks about, we have such a long coastline, why shouldn't we talk about a sustainable, comfortable fashion to wear at a beach and have a good time. So, right now I'm trying out many things, and I've literally just started less than a year ago.
Okay, how difficult is it to transition? You're from Delhi NCR, right? You have
Yes.
roots here, right?
Yes.
And then when you went to Mumbai, and I've spoken to a lot of aspiring actors because we spent a lot of time in Mumbai, nearly 15-20 years, and Arnab is also here. Our studios, we were based out of Mumbai. And we know how difficult it is because thousands and thousands of them come to Mumbai to crack it, but very few make it. Right?
Yes.
Did you have any of those struggles that you want to talk about? Or you've seen perhaps?
The transition from Delhi to Mumbai?
Yes, and getting into acting and the entire journey.
It takes time, but that's with every profession. We live in a world where we want instant gratification and we want instant results. Look at the life of a doctor. You study for at least 11.5 to 13 years till you actually get to do what you really want to do. So similarly, I think we forget the fact that acting is a profession, and a lot of times it will take time to get results.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not from the industry, when you're an outsider, you're not from the city, settling yourself into a new city, finding your ground, getting that first opportunity, then initially, and it's not like you get to choose your opportunities. You have to pretty much choose between what you're being offered. Eventually, to proving yourself, that's a long journey. And in any other industry, I'm sure even in your profession, it takes years and years of work to establish yourself. So that is a struggle, like any other profession. But yes, the success rate is much lesser. It's a lot more competitive than medicine, for sure. I can say that. And like I said, I was fortunate that I got that platform. So my first film was Miss World had a lot to do with that. That's something I completely understand. But after that, settling into a new city, I made my parents move to Mumbai.
Yeah.
If you were to specifically talk about the transition from Delhi to Mumbai, we missed the food, we missed the space. But
I agree with you on the food part of it.
The food. Oh, we missed the food in Delhi.
Mumbai,
but apart from that, I think it's just settling into a new city, a new industry that you know nothing about. So you have to pretty much start from level zero. It's an industry that also runs on a lot of connections, and you need for people to get to know you. You need for you need to get to know the culture or just how things work. So that takes a lot of time. It takes time, but I'd say that if you really are serious about pursuing acting, then then don't look for that instant gratification that I'll immediately get my first project, and then that project will be a super hit, and then suddenly I'll become this star. It takes time. Everything takes time, and it's a good thing because slow success is so much better than overnight success.
Yeah, I agree with you. Coming to the next point, of course, there is this pressure that comes with it, right? When I say pressure, of course, with all the accolades, there will be criticism, right? There will be controversies, right? And speaking of controversies, social media plays a big part. And I wanted to ask you this question because there have been so many controversies in the recent past, right? There is a Saif Ali Khan controversy. I'll get to that later. I know you're doing a movie with him. You may not want to talk about it. You may want to talk about it. But then there's also the controversy of social media. What's your take on that? Public figures on social media, what they say on social media, do you have a say on that?
I think people take social media too seriously, and it shouldn't be taken that seriously. Personally, I only joined social media because I was supposed to be on social media to compete at Miss India. I don't enjoy it as much, but it is a platform, and it's a great platform to put across what you want to say. There's a certain amount of personality that you can build through social media. And I mean, I'm an actor. I know I know the value of creating perception, but I think that's pretty much it. I feel the pressure. I feel people shouldn't take the pressure of social media or maintaining a certain image on social media unless it really adds value to your life. It adds value to your profession, because today, I have a younger brother, and I see a lot of his friends, when we go on trips and he brings his friends along, they all come with this equipment that I don't need. They come with tripods and everything, and they're like, we have to create content. And I said, for what? They said, no, it's our Instagram needs to look. And I said, that's too much pressure on at your age. Like, but this, so I feel like we need to understand that Instagram is also a certain bubble.
Yeah.
We always joke about this, that being Insta famous might also, like just being Insta famous might also be like being rich in Monopoly.
Yeah.
It's great. Instagram is great when you have other things to support it. But if social media is the only thing you're doing, then it's not a very healthy way of living, because the real world is very different. Whenever I do a film, sometimes you want to mentally just be in a different space. I delete all my social media. I do that whenever I'm doing a film. And
you delete your social media?
I delete it, and I delete the apps on my phone, and then I have someone else post for me whatever is required during that period of time.
You post yourself?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Okay.
Unless I'm shooting a film.
Because I know most of them have their...
No, unless I'm shooting a film. Otherwise, if someone else was curating my social media, it would be much better. But it's pretty much me, mostly. And whenever I shoot a film, then I have someone else post for me, because then I want to be, away, and I want to kind of focus on just that little world that we create when we're shooting a film. And that's when I realized that there's so much more to the world, and sometimes we forget that. We lose perspective. So I feel that there's a right balance that needs to be struck. I see youngsters taking social media too seriously, which they shouldn't.
You think that's, you said something about the Insta bubble, right? You said Insta bubble. You think this Insta bubble is going to burst? Because I've seen, not to sound very old, but I remember Orkut, right? Orkut, remember Orkut? And then there was...
I was not allowed to be on Orkut. My parents didn't allow it.
And then came Facebook.
Yes.
And Facebook, I don't know how many people here use Facebook anymore. I know it is used in many parts of the country, but it's not...
No, I think Facebook is still very popular amongst a different generation.
Different generation, and also different, demography. It's not used, especially in urban areas, as much as we do now, but Insta is the latest fad, right? But do you think this Insta bubble also will perhaps at some point fade out?
I think that's life, right? Like, something else has to take over. It's pretty normal. Like, eventually there will be some new form of social media that will take over. Maybe Instagram will, Instagram will kind of like, I remember with the addition of Reels before TikTok was popular, then TikTok was not anymore, it wasn't accessible in India anymore, and then we had Instagram, Reels, etc. So I guess there'll always be something that will take over, and there'll always be a different form of social media. I don't know if it's going to be through Instagram or something else, but I'm sure that'll burst soon. And it already is. Like, I see so many of, like I was talking about my brother's friends now, so many of them are off social media because they just said, what's the point?
Keep up with that pressure, right?
What's the point?
Yeah. You spoke about a perception that, personalities try to
Sorry
keep...
to interrupt you, but just to add on to the last point, I'd say that sometimes it's all right to not know what everyone thinks about you. So you don't need to always...
Do you check?
Not anymore.
What do you used to at some point?
When I was younger, when I just joined social media and I just won Miss World, I mean, see, when you have a few hundreds to thousands of followers initially, then they're pretty much your friends, and it's more social media and less of like you just being on social media and the public having access to you. And then after Miss World, I remember I probably for a few months, and then I realized, okay, this is not getting me anywhere, and then I stopped.
No, I agree, because we face that often. I mean, somebody, when we see something and then someone's abusing you, you're like, okay, fine, forget about it. Yeah, so I get that. I was going to ask you about, you mentioned the pressure that celebrities come under. And I'm asking you this because recently I saw what happened with Preeti Zinta, right? I'm sure you know about how she's being targeted on social media. There are perceptions that celebrities hold or want to portray themselves as. Mostly they try and stay out of controversy, they don't take sides. But increasingly I'm seeing, or it has been the case for the last maybe few years, right? They say something, for example, Preeti Zinta is targeted because she says something good about the Mahakumbh or the government, right? Now, how do you react to that? Do you have a take on that? Is it important for people to take sides?
See, I think it's great to have opinions. I was taught in school and by my parents that it's good to be opinionated, because you need to take power of your own life. Like, you need to eventually make your own decisions. So, I mean, what does it mean to be empowered? It means to be able to make your own decisions, to decide for yourself. And to decide for yourself, you need to have opinions. But sometimes certain opinions are meant for you to know. It's not, you don't need to go out there and, tell everyone about it. And the beauty of living in a society is the fact that everyone will have different opinions. Everyone will have a different take towards things. And we need to understand that just because I look at that bird and I see a beautiful bird that I can photograph, someone else might look at it and say, oh, it's a delicious bird that I can eat. Or someone else might look at it and say, you know what, I want this bird to fly, so I'm going to throw a stone at it. Everyone looks at the same thing differently. And I think that's the beauty of living in a society. And that's what we must understand, which I sometimes see, that if you don't have the same opinion as me, that means you're wrong and I'm right. I think that's a very archaic way of living. That's a very that's not very evolved, is what I personally feel. But having said that, there's one thing in school, like we used to get into a lot of debates, especially related to politics. We used to all have our little opinions, and our teachers used to encourage us to have opinions. And those debates would lead into fights. Best friends would fight. No, this is right, that is right. And then we all came into this conclusion. You know what? Everyone's going to keep their own religious and political opinions to themselves. And if we're sharing it, we will be respectful to the other person. And I think those are very personal. So I'll say that there are two aspects to this. It's important to have opinions. And it's also all right to let people know. I don't see personally, I don't share a lot of them because I feel like they are for me to know. I don't need to go and tell people out there. But just because a celebrity is putting their opinion out there doesn't mean that they are wrong just because you don't agree with them.
Yeah.
Also, public figures might be influencers, but they're also individuals. And sometimes I think we give them a little too much importance based on the opinions they have, because we feel if they've put this opinion out there, that means everyone's going to think that it's the gospel truth. No, I think people are smart enough to know what's the truth. No one is looking at Instagram and saying, oh, if Preeti Zinta said this, so I will believe in this only, and this is the truth of my life. I don't think that's true. So I feel most times they're targeted a little too much.
I agree with you on that.
So I guess, so there are both sides to it.
Okay. So, I know that millions of students try to get into the medicine field every year. And many of them fail, right? And there are so many suicides as well. And we report that a lot in the news. Millions of them try to be a Miss World, they fail, right? And millions try to get into acting, but they fail. What's your advice to the youth? Because this is the Youth Summit. What's your advice to them when you speak to the younger generation?
The only thing that's certain in life is uncertainty, and that's the beauty of it. I never knew that I would be an actor in my life. I never thought of my life in that manner. I always looked, I enjoyed being on stage, I enjoyed performing, I enjoyed being in front of the camera, but I never thought of it as a profession. And honestly, the one thing I'd like to say to everyone is that you never know what plans life has for you. And I truly, truly believe in divine intervention. And I feel that there is a lot of destiny that also goes into what actually ends up happening in our lives. Sometimes we have plans, and many a times things don't go the way we've planned. It's happened to me as well. But I'd say that we take too much pressure and we think that this is the end of the world, whereas it's not. I've been a medical student, and I know the amount of pressure, and at that point, we're all thinking this is the end of it. We have to give our 10th boards, 12th boards, we have to get a certain amount of marks, and we think that that's life, and uske baad sab theek ho jayega. Life is a very long journey, and I feel that it is the responsibility of parents and teachers to instill this in children, that this is not life, this is a stage, this is an exam, it's a phase, it'll go. It's preparing you for what's coming next, and then what's coming next, and life is filled with many exams. I think now, since I'm older and I gave my medical entrance 9 or 10 years ago, and I'd say that's probably the easiest thing I've done. Ever since, life will throw bigger tasks and bigger exams at you. So I feel it's important for parents and teachers and people who are guiding, who are mentors, to change this mindset of this is the end of it. Agar main actor nahi bana to kuch nahi. I feel like there's so much to life, and sometimes we ourselves are so limited in our thought process, thinking that this is our dream and this is what we're going to achieve. Also, we've over-glorified to hustle just for that one thing that you want in life. Sometimes life has something bigger and better planned for you. So you need to have faith, you need to be patient, and sometimes things will not go your way, which is perfectly fine.
A couple of last questions. I see a lot of young children who come into our newsrooms, right? They're very confident. And it appears like they know exactly what they want to do. They are very, very ambitious. But they don't have the patience, right? What's your advice? Have you encountered that? What's your take on that, and what would be your advice to the young generation?
Like I said, when you're leaving school, you're entering college, your confidence is at 100 and your experience is at zilch. So I've gone through that phase myself. Confidence is great, but again, we live in a world where people want instant gratification, and people have forgotten what it really means to have slow success, to build something. And if you want something that lasts, then you will have to have the patience to build it step by step. You'll have to put effort. Anything in life, whether it's your career, whether it's a business, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, anything in life will require time, effort, and it will require a lot of patience till it actually shows results. But the beauty of slow success is that it builds character, and slow success is what actually lasts and will give you fruits for a much longer time compared to, again, instant gratification.
Absolutely. Finally, would you have preferred to be a doctor, Miss World, actor, entrepreneur?
I think I'm doing all four right now.
Which one would you pick if you had
Not
to pick
a doctor.
one?
If I had to pick one.
Not a doctor.
I mean, I'm not a qualified doctor, but I do have a regenerative clinic.
Yes, yeah.
So, hey, acting makes me the money to put into regenerative health. Let's say that, one profession supports another. That's a really difficult one. See, I'll give you the pros and cons of everything. Doctor is great because my parents are doctors. I knew what to expect. It came naturally to me. I was good at studies. I was really good in college. It was like home ground, But I wanted to do something of my own, I wanted to build something of my own. And I feel like medicine, as lovely and as great as it was, there's a lot of confidence and a lot of pride in doing something of your own. And while medicine is again your own effort, for me, the amount of learning I've had simply because I've gone into a different field it's been tremendous, which I don't think I would have had if I would have stayed in a medical college. Actor is great because it's a very exciting life. It's not easy, but it's again very fulfilling. The craft itself teaches you so much about who you are, and if you're a philosopher, then acting is a great field because you get to discover so much about yourself. Entrepreneur again is these are all interlinked. I'd say they're all
because
they're
if
all
you're
interlinked.
an actor and you put that money into regenerative medicine, you become an entrepreneur.
I mean, I'm doing all four, so it will be difficult for me to choose one.
Which one would you enjoy the most, perhaps? Or you had fun doing the most?
I had fun doing the most. I think whichever. For now, the one that reached its pinnacle and gave me results was Miss World.
Yeah.
So I'll put that on the top. That's pretty much it, right? In pageantry, there was nothing after. Yes. So that's a journey that was completed, and everything else has just started. Acting just started 2 years ago. Entrepreneurship started less than a year ago. Medicine, I started, didn't finish, but I'd say will finish once I'm able to scale the clinic. But everything else is a journey that I've just started, and pageantry is something I finished.
Fantastic. Manushi Chhillar, everybody please give a round of applause for Manushi Chhillar. Thank you for being here with us and sharing your story, your journey with us here at Republic.
This is Ranveer Brar, and I'm honored to be speaking at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025, India's most powerful gathering of leaders, visionaries, and changemakers. Under the theme of Limitless India, we celebrate the spirit of innovation that has shaped our country and its future. It's going to be a power-packed summit, and you can join me as we discuss the next chapter of India's transformation. See you at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on the 6th of March, only on Republic Media Network.
This week on Get Me Right, what's up with Tamil Nadu? From the discovery of Iron Age to reward for deciphering the Indus script, from the language row to delimitation controversy, MK Stalin and the DMK seem to be in an overdrive to build some narrative. What's the plan? We discuss. Also, Chinese tycoon Jack Ma, banished by the communist state 5 years ago, made a surprise appearance this week, and that too with Xi Jinping? What's cooking in Beijing on the tech front? I read the tea leaves for you. Join this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, only on Republic TV.
Make your accusations, throw barbs at each other, and most of the time is spent in that. Having said that, thank you very much, Republic Network, my dear friend Niranjan, obviously Arnab Goswami, the organizers of this great youth summit, fellow speakers, and obviously this Yuva audience who's gathered here for this amazing Mahakumbh of ideas and energy. Firstly, I'm glad that the Republic Network thought of me as Yuva. Some other networks, Niranjan, continue to think that a failed 54-year-old dynast is a Yuva. So I'm glad that as opposed to that kind of network, the Republic Network thinks that somebody who's in his 30s actually represents the Yuva. But on a serious note, in Odisha in 1938, there was a young boy, Baji Raut, who was part of the Banar Sena in pre-independence India. Filled with patriotic zeal, his task was to ferry people across the Brahmani river and to keep a vigil at the ghat. One day, the British police officers came to Baji Raut and told him that we want to cross the river, we want to use your boat. The patriot in Baji Raut refused to stand down, and he obviously told the Britishers to go take a hike. The British police officers shot Baji Rao dead. He was just 12 years old when he laid down his life for our independence. He's India's youngest martyr. Then there is the story of Kanaklata Barua. Kanaklata Barua, tigress of Assam, led one of the biggest peaceful processions to the Gopur police station at the height of the 1942 Quit India movement. And her only aim was that the Union Jack should be replaced by the symbol of our pride, the Tiranga, the symbol of our republic. The British officers fired at her mercilessly, and she was killed at the age of 17. Full of zeal, full of energy, full of patriotism. Closer to our generation, you remember that in June 1999, Captain Vijayan Thapar, name you must have heard, was tasked with a huge responsibility of taking back from the Pakistanis territory that they had captured during the Kargil War. He was successful in his first mission, that is to get back Barbad Bunker. And then when he was given another mission, to get back 3 pimples at Nol. During that mission, unfortunately, Captain Vijayan Thapar made the supreme sacrifice. But in his last letter to his father, Captain Thapar wrote that if I were to be born as a human being once again, the only thing I would want to do is to serve our armed forces and serve Ma Bharati. This was the spirit that embodied him. Sagar Daryani, a friend of mine, started a small momo shop in Kolkata. He just had 30,000 rupees in his pocket. He did that in his late 20s. Today, Sagar Daryani is a year younger than me. He's 34. He owns a company which I'm sure all of you, especially Delhiites, would know, Wow Momo. It has 630 outlets across the country. It has a market valuation of 3,000 crores, the boy with 30,000 rupees in his pocket, and he employs 6,000 people in this country. That is a success story of the Yuva of Bharat as well. And going back once again to thousands of years ago, Adi Shankaracharya, one of the greatest philosophers of Hinduism and humanism, his works on the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, his seminal work for establishing the 4 mutts of Hinduism, of revitalizing Sanatan Dharma, his philosophy and teachings on Advaita Vedanta. All of this was done by him, and this was achieved before he attained the age of 32. And finally, you'd heard of a company called Tata Group. Started in 1868 by Jamshedji Tata. Today, the Tata Group is about $400 billion in market capitalization. Started by Jamshedji Tata when he was only 29 years old. The point I'm trying to make with all these stories spanning across generations, across many, many, many years, is that in every aspect of Bharat's journey, whether it is political or whether it is economic, whether it is the journey of Bharat when we were shackled in Gulami, or whether it is the story of independent Bharat, whether it is achievements in the field of business or in the field of sports, at the core of every story of Bharat is the Yuva, is this Yuva Shakti. And therefore, even though one can say that Bharat is one of the oldest civilizations in the world, 5,000 years old civilization, we are also one of the youngest nations in the world. And both of these two exist together. In fact, Bharat's Shakti is the Yuva Shakti. Think about it. 66% of Bharat's population, that's about 800 million, 80 crore people, are below the age of 35. You want to get an approximation of what that means? It means the entire population of Russia multiplied by 5. It means the entire population of the United States multiplied by 2.5 times. That's the size of our population, which is below the age of 35. In the last elections in 2024, approximately 35% of our 97 crore registered voters were between the age group of 18 to 35. One study indicates that about 75% of the startups that are registered in this country, most of them came after 2014, have been started by people who are below the age of 35. Yet another study shows that out of India's total consumer spending, about 50% of decisions of that consumer spending are driven by people, by citizens who are below the age of 35. So what does this mean? It means that whether we are talking about Bharat's demographic makeup or we are talking about Bharat's democratic makeup, whether we talk of Bharat's economic prowess or whether we talk of Bharat's political strength, whether we talk about Bharat's expanding markets, or whether we talk about Bharat's labor and employment force, the makers of Bharat, all of them at their core have this Yuva Shakti. It is the Yuva Shakti that drives Bharat today. And therefore, I know that many people think that people like me are more attuned to giving political speeches. But let me draw philosophically on how we can, as a nation, as a civilization, harness and leverage this huge ocean, this immense talent pool of youth that we have in our midst. And the solution for that, or the answer for that, I find, lies in the word Yuva itself. The word Yuva, Y-U-V-A. This is the English pronunciation, but youth in Sanskrit or in Hindi means Yuva. So the answer to the harnessing or the leveraging or the utilization of this youth power lies in the term Yuva. Have you heard of the word Vayu? वायु सबने सुना है वायु. आजकल तो दिल्ली में वायु प्रदूषण की बहुत बात होती थी. वायु जो है, the word Vayu is a Sanskrit word for wind, for air. It's the name of wind god in Hindu mythology. Vayu also happens to be the father of Shri Hanuman. And by the way, Hanumanji is always depicted as eternally young. He's immortal. He's Chiranjeevi. Vayu Putra Hanuman. Vayu जो शब्द है उसमें जो व है व, the v from Vayu, which is the root of Vayu in Sanskrit, means to flow together, to flow, to move forward. Now just do one exercise. वायु बोलिए एक बार, वायु जोर से. खाना नाश्ता वाश्ता नहीं दिया क्या रिपब्लिक वाले? वायु बोलिए फिर से. अब जोर से बोलिए और लगातार निरंतर कंटिन्यूसली बोलिए. वायु 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 युवा युवा. वायु और युवा. वायु को जब आप निरंतर बोलते हैं, जोर से बोलते हैं और लगातार बोलते हैं, तो वायु 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 वा युवा युवा युवा, वायु से निकलता है युवा. तो युवा का पहला जो मूल है, द फर्स्ट मीनिंग of yuva, or the first attribute of yuva, is the quality of vayu, that is to always keep moving forward, to keep going forward. And in the last 10 years, to unleash this energy of yuva, you must have seen that as a nation, we've been moving forward. Whether it's our economy from 11th position, we've moved forward at the speed of wind to the 5th position. We are now building infrastructure at the speed of wind. We are doubling the amount of highways we have. We are building more rail networks. We've built more networks of metros in various cities. We have expanded our digital network. You remember the days of slow internet speeds. Today we have one of the fastest internet speeds and the cheapest. And all of this is leading to India moving forward, our Yuva Shakti moving forward. So the first attribute of Yuva, or harnessing the power of the youth, is to keep moving forward, to keep pushing forward. But Yuva also has, apart from the VA, the Va Tattva, the Youth Tattva, YU. And this Youth Tattva, if you see, is also found in another Sanskrit word called Yog. Yog starts with the same root of Y. That Y Tattva of Yog means to come together. Yog literally means milan. It means sahyog, ek hona, judna. इसी को योग कहते हैं. योग मतलब एक हो जाना. So, the Yuva attribute of YU is also about coming together. It is about staying together. It is about staying rooted, even as we move forward. You must have seen there are many elements today that are trying to divide us. We've already been divided in 1947 along religious lines. Our country was partitioned. And today several forces continue to try and divide us, some along linguistic lines. Somewhere we see Tamil versus Hindi going on. Somewhere it is Gujarati versus Marathi. Somebody is attempting Assamese versus Malayali. All of this is going on to break us along linguistic lines. Some are attempting to break us against and pit us against each other on caste lines. जाति के आधार पर तोड़ने की कोशिश की जा रही है. Some people are trying to break us along religion and regional lines. So the attempt is being done all the time to divide us. But the attribute of the youth, the attribute of Yuva, is to stay united even as we move forward. Think about it. Have you seen a small child? If you notice a small child, and then you notice a grandparent who's 80 or 90 years old, what is the first difference that you will make out? The first difference that you will make out is the child's skin and your grandparent's skin. Your grandparent will have a lot of wrinkles on his or her face, correct? Right? झुर्रियां होंगी चेहरे पे. आप सोचिए एक बात, ये झुर्रियां क्यों आती है? जब आपका स्किन भारी तत्वों को एक्सपोज होता है, जैसे सनलाइट को एक्सपोज होता है, when you expose your skin to sunlight or to other elements, external elements, the tissues that are held together, the connective fiber of it disintegrates, it deteriorates. And the moment that happens, your skin loses elastin or elasticity, and then individual tissues of your skin start sagging, and that's what wrinkling is, essentially. So, coming together, if your skin is together, if it is connected together, it looks young and fresh and vibrant. And the same skin, when it starts disintegrating from each other, it starts sagging, it starts looking old. Isolation is the attribute of age, whereas freshness and being together, united, is the attribute of the young. You must have seen that even as these attempts are being made to divide us along caste lines, religious lines, linguistic lines, just a couple of days ago, the Mahakumbh has come to a conclusion. It happened after 144 years, this particular Mahakumbh. And we saw about 66 crore people take the holy Snan in the Triveni Sangam. And there is not a single instance, not one instance that anybody can show where one person taking a Snan in the Triveni Sangam refused to take a Snan with another person saying that मैं ब्राह्मण हूँ, तुम दलित हो, हम एक साथ स्नान नहीं कर सकते. Not a single instance where somebody said कि मैं मराठी हूँ, तुम उत्तर प्रदेश से हो, हम साथ में स्नान नहीं कर सकते. Not a single instance where gender or any other factors that divide us could be seen or spotted in that union of Sanatanis that took place in Prayagraj just a few days ago. And that is the power of unity. That is the power of being rooted to your Sanskriti and your culture. And that is the attribute, the second attribute of being Yuva. The first being mobility, to move forward. The second being, even as we move forward, to be united. There are two more attributes of being Yuva, or to harness this Yuva Shakti. And those two again come from the word Yuva. For me, the word Yuva, the Y stands for Yodha. Who is a Yodha? Yodha is somebody who is assertive, somebody who is aggressive, somebody who is willing to take risks, somebody who is not going to back down, somebody who is willing to go and fight for his right. You remember that there was a time in this country that there used to be bomb blasts every second or third week. याद है वो समय? जयपुर ब्लास्ट, पुणे ब्लास्ट, कोयम्बटूर ब्लास्ट, चेन्नई ब्लास्ट, लखनऊ ब्लास्ट, वाराणसी ब्लास्ट. हर जगह पर, हर बड़े शहर में कोई ना कोई धमाका होता था, कोई ना कोई ब्लास्ट होता था. लोग हम सुनते थे ट्रेन में, बसों में, मार्केट्स में एक वार्निंग चलती थी कि अनजान लगेज को टच मत कीजिए, अनजान चीज़ों को हाथ मत लगाइए, पुलिस को रिपोर्ट कीजिए. उस समय पर हम लोगों ने कभी मुंह तोड़ जवाब नहीं दिया. But now in the last 10-11 years, India has realized its Yuva Shakti, its Yodha Shakti. And today, terrorism can never completely stop. There will always be somebody who will want to attack us. But today our response to the same terror attacks has changed drastically. And therefore somebody, even if they think of attacking us, when they do an attack at Uri or in Pulwama, today we no longer sit meekly or go to the United Nations, but we give a muh-tod jawab, whether it is through the surgical strike or whether it is through the Balakot airstrike, and we ensure that the fear of God is put in those who even dare to think about targeting us. That is being a Yodha. And that is also an attribute of our Yuva Shakti. But finally, there is another attribute that comes along with this Y for Yodha and Yuva, and that is V, Va se Vinamra. The word Vinamra comes from Vinaman. विनमन मतलब टू बाउ डाउन. आप बोलेंगे बाउ डाउन. बाउइंग डाउन का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप किसी से डर गए. बाउइंग डाउन डज नॉट मीन दैट यू हैव moved behind. Bowing down actually is not an attribute of the weak, it is an attribute of strength. Have you ever seen a tree which is full of fruits? A tree which is full of fruits is always bowing down and is always small because it is bowing down. A tree without fruits will stand upright. If I were to ask you that collect some rainwater, it was raining a little bit earlier before I came, collect rainwater in your hands. Would you be able to collect water if you held your hand up like this? But the moment you bend your hand, make a cup out of it, you will be able to collect a few drops of water. You'll be able to absorb what nature is giving you. So bowing down, vinamra hona, vinaman hona, this is the biggest attribute of the brave. And therefore, if you see, the example that I started off with, of Shri Hanuman. Do you know what the meaning of the word Hanuman is? हनुमान का मतलब जानते हैं? हनुमान जी का मतलब, वैसे तो हम हनुमान जी को जब डिस्क्राइब करते हैं तो हमेशा उनके हाथ में हम देखते हैं कि गदा है. हनुमान जी को बल, शक्ति, ताकत, अतुलित बलधामा, इस प्रकार से उनका वर्णन होता है. पर हनुमान जी के नाम का मतलब है हनु मतलब छोटा करना और मान मतलब अपना ईगो, अपना अहम. जो अपने ईगो को, अपने अहम को, जो अपने मान को छोटा कर सकता है, उन्हें हनुमान कहते हैं. हनुमान का एक और अर्थ भी है. हनु का मतलब संस्कृत में होता है जबड़ा, जौ, और मान का मतलब होता है जिस पर चोट हो, डिसफिगर्ड हो, जो थोड़ा सा, हम देखते हैं ना, जो अहंकारी लोग होते हैं उनका चिन्ह हमेशा ऊपर होता है, जौ हमेशा ऊपर होता है, वो ऐसे चलते हैं नाक ऊंची करके. हनुमान जी के जबड़े पर ये चोट कैसे आई थी? ये तब आई थी जब हनुमान जी एक दिन सूर्य को निगलने के लिए चल पड़े, और उस समय पर सभी देवताओं ने इंद्र जी से कहा कि बचाइए वरना ये तो सूरज को ही निगल लेंगे मीठा फल समझ के. और तब इंद्र जी ने अपने वज्र से हनुमान जी पर हमला किया. वैसे उनको कुछ हुआ नहीं, सिर्फ उनके जबड़े पर थोड़ी चोट आई. परंतु इसका फिलोसॉफिकल मीनिंग क्या है? व्हाट इज द फिलोसॉफिकल मीनिंग ऑफ दिस? द फिलोसॉफिकल मीनिंग ऑफ दिस इज दैट हनुमान, हु इज द एम्बॉडीमेंट ऑफ इमॉर्टल यूथ, एज पावरफुल एज ही इज, अतुलित बलधामा जितने हैं वो बल जितना भी है उनमें, तब भी उनका मान वो हनु करती है. मतलब कि वो अपने अहम को काबू में रखते हैं, वो विनम्र है. और इसीलिए आपको याद होगा एक चौपाई भी है, सूक्ष्म रूप धरी सियाई दिखावा, विकट रूप धरी लंक जरावा. मतलब कि हनुमान जी की वो क्वालिटी है कि जहां पर बड़ा रूप करके लंका लगानी है तो वहां पे लंका लगा भी देते हैं, और जहां पर रूप को छोटा करना है, सूक्ष्म होना है, जहां पर विनम्र होना है, झुकना है, विनमन करना है, वहां पर हनुमान जी सूक्ष्म रूप भी धारण कर देते हैं. और इसीलिए आज जब मैं आपके सामने आया हूं, व्हेन आई हैव कम इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, आई एम सॉरी मैंने कुछ पॉलिटिकल कहा नहीं, पर मेरे हिसाब से, क्योंकि आज का कीनोट एड्रेस भी था फ्रॉम द युवा टू द युवा, 4 एट्रीब्यूट्स है जो युवाओं की शक्ति को ऊर्जा दे सकते हैं और उसे आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं. फर्स्ट, टू कीप मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, आगे बढ़ते रहिए वायु की तरह. सेकंड, इवन एज वी आर मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, स्टे यूनाइटेड, मिलन कीजिए, अपने विरासत से जुड़े रहिए. थर्ड, योद्धा के समान असर्टिव होइए. और चौथा, भगवान श्री हनुमान की तरह विनम्र रहिए. बस मैं आपसे यही बात कहना चाहता था. आप लोगों ने मुझे इस मंच पर, इस युवाओं के महाकुंभ में आने का मौका दिया, और यहाँ पर आपके बीच में आकर अपनी बातों को रखने का मौका दिया. आई एम वेरी वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू रिपब्लिक नेटवर्क. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर लिसनिंग सो पेशेंटली. थैंक यू. जय हिंद, जय भारत, भारत माता की जय. थैंक यू.
Hi, this is Adnan Sami here, and I'll be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This happens to be India's largest news event, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Save this date. I will see you on March 6th.
Hi guys, this is Sania Mirza and I will be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This is India's largest summit organized by Republic Media, India's leading news network. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. See you all there.
Hello everyone, how you doing? Namaskar, I'm Ricky Cage and I'm super excited that on the 6th of March, I'm going to be at the Republic Plenary Summit. It's going to be Hello everyone, how you doing? Namaskar, I'm Ricky Cage and I'm super excited that on the 6th of March, I'm going to be at the Republic Plenary Summit. It's going to be absolutely awesome and it's happening at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. So remember, let us see each other at the Republic Plenary Summit March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. See you there.
Hi, this is Adnan Sami here, and I'll be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This happens to be India's largest news event, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Save this date. I will see you on March 6th.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Hi guys, this is Sania Mirza and I will be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This is India's largest summit organized by Republic Media, India's leading news network. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. See you all there.
Hello everyone, how you doing? Namaskar, I'm Ricky Cage and I'm super excited that on the 6th of March, I'm going to be at the Republic Plenary Summit. It's going to be absolutely awesome and it's happening at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. So remember, let us see each other at the Republic Plenary Summit March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. See you there.
Blinkit mein aajkal har subah, I mean, my day starts at 6 o'clock, right? And there are times when we have to pack, let's say, a sandwich, and I need tomato sauce at 6 in the morning. Thankfully, there's Blinkit, and Viba comes up as one of the first choices.
Thankfully, there's Blinkit, and thankfully, there's Viba.
Right. So it hasn't been easy, and I can imagine, because growing up, we had very few choices for sauces, right? Let me start with that. I remember Kisan, right? And you had maybe one, maximum two choices, and middle class households would just go with whatever is cheaper, whatever is available in the market. And then the Indian Revolution happened, right? How difficult has it been for you to break through, and how long has it taken?
So we're a fairly young company, and frankly, God has been really kind to us that we are one of India's largest sauce companies today. But if I be very candid with you, that was never the dream. The dream was to, I had recently shut a business. I was a failed entrepreneur. And the dream was to do something India can be proud of. People, my friends, who jante hain, they know I'm a really, really proud Indian. So I want to, in my way, make a company India is proud of. And secondly, it was to earn a few lakhs a month कि मेरी family अच्छे से रह जाए. मेरा उससे ज़्यादा बड़ा कोई dream नहीं था. God was really kind, and Viba started doing very well. And today, yes, it is. I'm not saying it's easy. It is difficult. You have to. Today, we are present in roughly 750, 780 towns across the length and breadth of the country. A lot of companies, in fact, all young companies look really good in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Pune. Yes. Our strength is that we look equally good in Vellore, Madurai, Trivandrum, Hoshiarpur, Ludhiana, like everywhere. That's our strength. So we spoke about Blinkit, but 70% of our retail revenue comes from distribution, GT. So GT, MT and e-com, general trade, our core business is still general trade. 70% of our revenue comes from general trade. So yes, we are a startup, but if you look at it one way, we are building a traditional FMCG company. We are not building it like a startup.
Got it. You spoke about the struggles. You said you had a business and you had to shut down that business, and this happened, I don't know whether it was an accident or whether you wanted to get into it. Tell us about that. I mean, what happened with the restaurant business, and what made you get into sauces?
So restaurant business, so if I go back, I come from, really middle class kind of a background. Very, very, very happy household. But घर में एक AC होता था उस type से. And my biggest thing was the amount of hard work my father and mother put was directly proportional to our standard of living going up. That thing really stayed with me कि मेहनत का फल मीठा होता है. So I really wanted to. In fact, our tagline today is मेहनत का फल वीबा होता है. But it is from my childhood. But that really stayed with me कि if you do hard work, you improve your condition in life. And my father was the biggest living example कि जितना उन्होंने अपने काम में hard work किया, हमारा standard of living बढ़ता गया. So I always, as a child, wanted to be an entrepreneur. उस time entrepreneur word इतना cool नहीं था, but I wanted to do my own business is what I wanted to do. So I started my chain of restaurants in 2008. I was working in Merchant Navy. क्योंकि पैसे कमाने थे, so I was working in Merchant Navy, and Merchant Navy में काम किया, पैसे इकट्ठे किए, came back, worked with my father for some time, and then in 2008 I started my restaurant business. Restaurant business fail हो गया, 4 साल मैंने उसको चलाया. At that time I did not know God had really good plans for me. उस time तो they were the 4 most difficult years of my life, and the restaurant failure is a very public failure, because when your restaurants are not doing well, everybody knows you're not doing well, because जगह खाली है तो मतलब आपका धंधा नहीं चल रहा. And this is pre Zomato and Swiggy, right? There was no cloud kitchens at that time. So that public failure really humbles you. But that failed restaurant business gave me 2 lessons which really stayed with me for life. Number one was, India में sauce की कमी है, because my restaurant business we were always looking for good sauces, and at that time sauce meant ketchup, hot and sweet, chili sauce, and little bit mayonnaise. I wanted, Southwest Chipotle, sweet onion, healthier sauces. So एक चीज़ उसने restaurant business ने fail होते सिखा दी कि sauces नहीं है. And the second thing was, it taught me frugality. कि right time पे right expense is the most important thing. I don't think Viba would have been as successful as it is today without the restaurant business failing as badly as it did that time. So it was, मैं थोड़ा अनपढ़ type का, मैंने MBA नहीं किया हुआ, but that was my God gifted MBA. I learned so much. उस time पे समझ नहीं आ रहा था, I'm learning and it will help me later. But later I really kind of learned a lot.
Yeah. So I read somewhere that you had to sell your wife's home. To start the business, and you didn't have money at some point to even pay salaries. Right?
So first,
this was after you started Viba.
Okay. No, for starting Viba, me and my wife, out of all my merchant navy savings and working at my father's business, I had saved some money. That money we divided into two parts. One was half of it went into the restaurant business, half of it we bought a house. So सबसे पहले तो मैंने वो रेस्टोरेंट बिजनेस में जो पैसे लगाए थे वो जीरो हो गए. फिर बचा हाउस. I newly had shut the kind of the restaurant business, and I went to my wife and I said कि not many spouses will agree, right? But she agreed in 30 seconds. I said, Ridhima, I want to sell our house to do this, and 30 seconds later she said, yeah, sure, if that's what you're calling. So I think many spouses won't agree to something as fast. So that is how the startup capital to start Viba came from. Viba is my mother's name.
Yeah.
And that is how I started the company. That's where the money came from. But, it is very important, and Republic TV has this gigantic viewership. I have to say one thing. It was not a hero story, so it should not be किसी को अपना घर नहीं बेचना चाहिए. With all the knowledge that I have today, I would not have done what I did at that time. So it is not a hero story. At best, it is a story of naivety. It is not a hero story. मैंने अपना घर बेचा. उस टाइम पे VC फंडिंग और कंज्यूमर फंडिंग इतनी नहीं होती थी. शार्क टैंक जैसे शोज नहीं होते थे. There were no venture funds at that time. They were funds, but they were doing mostly tech. Nobody was doing consumer. Today, there is no need to take a step as drastic as I was looking for the right word. Thank you. So God was kind to me कि वो drastic step लेके मैं पार हो गया. But what if it would have failed? So it is not a story of heroism. So it is very important that your viewers know that.
It's a very middle class story. I mean, you just told me that you've named your brand after your mother, right? And at every stage, from my takeaway so far in the conversation with you, you've spoken about your upbringing, your struggles, right? How difficult is it for a typical middle class family or middle class person to create a world class brand today?
See, first of all, for the sake of full disclosure, by the time I started this company, we were no longer middle class. My father was working hard and we were doing well. Yes, I did not take money from my father to start the company, but what my work at Merchant Navy gave me is a global exposure. So I had access to some of the best quality products,
Yes.
So again, I was very lucky that I went into Merchant Navy. I was working for a Danish company. I was usually sailing in Europe and US. And even today, पता नहीं वो क्यों शौक था, whichever city I go to, even today, I spend at least 2-3 hours in a department store. I just love spending 2-3 hours in a department store. I don't know what, and even today my wife abuses me. Whenever I go to a department store, I get 1 or 2 bags full of things which are never eaten. But I am crazy about department stores and shopping there. So I went to so many department stores over those 5-6 years that I was sailing, that I got a lot of exposure to products, and I always used to feel ये भी इंडिया में नहीं है, ये भी इंडिया में नहीं है, ये भी इंडिया में नहीं है. So that really helped me, and very honestly, for anyone to be successful, it is not a one-man story at all. It is the story of many things coming together. I will say this with so much honesty. मेरे काम करने के एफर्ट में मेरे रेस्टोरेंट फेल्ड बिजनेस और वीबा में कोई फ़र्क नहीं है. जितना मैंने मेहनत से काम अपने रेस्टोरेंट बिजनेस में करी, ऑनेस्ट टू गॉड मैंने उतनी ही मेहनत से यहाँ पे करी. सो इट इज़ नॉट कि आई वॉज द रीज़न ऑफ फेलियर और आई एम द सोल रीज़न ऑफ सक्सेस. सो मैनी थिंग्स हैव टू कम टुगेदर, अ वंडरफुल टीम, wonderful investors, wonderful suppliers, wonderful distributors, amazing shopkeepers, and most of all, the consumer love. I just could not imagine. Imagine in the 2 minutes we are sitting right now over here.
Yeah.
3 of us discuss, मैं आपका ये product खाता हूँ, मैं आपका ये product खाता हूँ. So, I mean, he's busy on his phone right now, but the thing is that love from the consumer. I mean, how could I have ever planned it? So the consumer gave us so much love that I am forever in gratitude.
Yeah. But you've seen, I mean, something you mentioned I found it very interesting. I mean, you had a restaurant when Zomato wasn't there. And you have a successful brand thanks to some, Blinkit, right? How have you seen the consumption patterns change over time? And with the opening up of the Indian market, if you can describe it a little for our audience.
So I think India still runs on general trade. That is not changing, but with, as you said, quick commerce, Blinkit, Swiggy, Instamart and Zepto and now BB now. The patterns are changing very fast in metros. We are seeing a huge change in metros, but I also want to say with equal amount of confidence that general trade is not going anywhere. जो घर के पास वाली किराने की दुकान से मंगवाने का आराम है, and almost all of them act as micro banks, right? Because आप order लिखवा देते हो, कोई आके दे जाता है फटाफट, and you pay when the salary comes.
Yes.
It is almost impossible to compete with that. So India की story is about consumption. अभी तो हमने खाना शुरू किया है, मतलब when I say खाना, I'm also talking about cream लगाना, खाना. अभी तो हमने consume करना शुरू किया है. So there will be a market for quick commerce. They are growing rapidly, but general trade is not going anywhere. हमारी किराने की दुकानें कहीं नहीं जाने वाली, वो रहेंगी, but both of them will thrive together because our middle class is now booming, our consumption is booming, and what has happened in the budget and the repo rate, there's more money coming into the hand of the common man. आप सोचो हर बंदे के घर में लाख रुपए साल का एक्स्ट्रा आ जाएगा, कंजम्पशन और बढ़ेगी. So consumption is going to, अभी तो इंडिया की स्टोरी शुरू हुई है.
अरे पर आजकल ये तो yesterday I think Shehzad will know some hit jobs on 90% of India doesn't have money to spend. 80%, 80 or I think it was a BBC study in India. BBC, by the way, which is funded by US aid. We found out, we reported about it.
I with due respect to that study and BBC, India is consuming. India कहीं नहीं जा रहा, ये India का decade है. Maybe jealousy होगी, I don't know, but India is consuming. I am a living example of India's consuming. Our FMCG business, yes, there have been some short आते ही हैं, like if you're growing थोड़ा बहुत कभी-कभी, like last year was tough for consumer, but the fact of the matter is last year was tough for consumer. The powers that run the country saw that it's a tough year for consumer, and money was given in the hand of the citizen, which will, everybody who was paying income tax, money has been given in their hands, so consumption will increase. And I'm not saying this because I'm a very proud Indian. I'm saying this because I have data to show our growth, this thing, that ये decade India का है, like the next 10 years belong to India. I mean, the consumption growth that we see in India, we are not seeing anywhere across the world for such a large economy, such a big population. So imagine we are almost creating one new Australia every year. So that many people, when they come into the middle class, everything will change. So I think it's the time to be here.
What's your hottest selling sauce?
Hottest selling sauce is not a hot sauce. Our hottest selling sauce is our mayonnaise.
Wow. That's new.
So mayonnaise and then ketchup. And then a lot of other products like Southwest Chipotle, sweet onion, honey mustard is,
What's the, how many different kinds of sauces do you have?
So we have roughly 85 SKUs on the shelves. I think we are not one of those companies जिसके top 5 products do 80% of the sale. We don't have that. So we've got about 30-40 products constituting to 80% of the sales. So the organization was designed in a way that tomorrow if you decide to launch a sauce company, which please karna mat, but if you decide to launch a sauce company, you can't attack us with one product. You'll have to attack us on 40 different products at the same time to make a dent on us.
Yes.
So we are very, how do I say, conservationist in our approach to sauces. If you go to any retail shop across the country, and I will request you to please, whenever you have the time, you will see that Viba has a big shelf with multiple different SKUs. So we decided very early in our journey that we will be a range brand. We do not want you to get bored of our products. So today you're eating honey mustard, tomorrow you can eat mint mayonnaise, day after tomorrow you can eat olive oil mayonnaise. Then so variety. मेरे मुंह में पानी आ गया sauces का नाम लेते लेते. But the variety is very important in taste, right? You can't eat the same thing every day. Imagine I tell you a world where you can eat a salad for the rest of the next 85 days without getting the same taste every day. Salad healthy है. आप एक big 200-300 grams की salad का बोल लो. 20 grams उसमें sauce डालो. आज Japanese salad खाओ, कल Mexican, परसों Moroccan. So I'm very passionate about sauces, so I get carried away. So please stop me, you know.
No, go ahead.
But
Please.
What happens is that sauce is the unsung hero of the food industry, because when we hold a burger, we talk about the bun, we talk about the patty अंदर, paneer patty, chicken patty. Sauce की कोई बात नहीं करता. But maximum taste sauce देती है, minimum cost sauce देती है.
Correct.
So imagine आप घर, do you have children?
Of course I do.
So imagine you go home, you're tired, your child comes to say, Papa, मेरे को pizza खाना है. You just go, अगर pizza bread भी नहीं है, आप एक toaster में toast डालो, मेरी pizza sauce लगाओ, 2 minutes में pizza. I'm a popular dad because of this, right? So I cook for my children. I'm a very good cook, but I use a lot of Viba products and they get happy.
No, I have to tell you, I mean, a personal anecdote. I mean, because we have long work hours as journalists, right? I mean, sometimes we don't know what time we get home, but most often my wife and I, when we go back home, we tend to cook our own dinner, right? And I agree with you there, because the secret ingredient is always a sauce. I mean, we look for chili oil, for example.
Fist bump kar lete
Tell me an interesting story on the changing consumption patterns. For example, have you seen some town or some region increasingly use a particular product that has blown your mind?
Yeah, I could have never imagined that when we launched our range of hot sauces like piri piri, sriracha, bhoot julakiya, I could not have imagined. जब हमने उसकी inventory planning करी थी, I could not have imagined that we will consume hot sauces at the level at which we are consuming hot sauces. We, like today, if you see 2 trends which I can see very clearly. Number one is hot, spicy. चाहे वो Korean spicy हो, चाहे वो Indian spicy हो, spice is selling these days. And second trend, which is in the metros, not in the non-metros, but in the metros, we are seeing a definite trend towards wellness. People are asking us, आपका oil content कितना है, आपका sugar content कितना है, and I'm very proud, reading the label has become cool today, but long before it became cool, Viba on the front of pack writes oil content and sugar content per serving.
Okay.
So we are, we feel the most intelligent person in the world is the consumer. We make better for you sauces and we are very transparent about it. अगर कुछ गंदा है, तो अगर शुगर पर सर्विंग, अगर वो मैं सैलेड जो आपको रोज खाने को बोल रहा हूँ, उस सैलेड में अगर आप 200 ग्राम्स ऑफ सैलेड की वजह से 20 ग्राम्स ऑफ सैलेड ड्रेसिंग डालोगे, उसमें 1 ग्राम ऑफ शुगर आ भी गया, इट इज 1 ग्राम ऑफ शुगर एक्चुअली इन 220 ग्राम्स ऑफ सैलेड. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट 1 ग्राम ऑफ शुगर यू आर एबल टू ईट द होल सैलेड विच इज वेरी हेल्दी. सो wellness is as a trend we are seeing consumers asking us, and when we answer they are giving us 100 out of 100. So we are very blessed from that sense that we are making better for you products. Second is hot to मेरे को shock हो गया था.
Same, I can't, I mean, I'm from the south, right? So I'm from Bangalore. And I see that there's a market difference in the way sambar tastes in Bangalore to the way sambar tastes in the north, right? Sweet, no, right? But hot sauce, yes, of course. I mean, you'll be surprised when we go to a restaurant. The first thing we look at is what kind of sauces are on the table, right? When you go to a Chinese restaurant or a Asian restaurant. we want it spicy. So I've seen that largely, it's increasing, right? I see more people
तो
now
देखो
asking
मजा
for
सॉस
that.
में ही है ना,
Yes,
सॉस ही डालते हैं।
absolutely, absolutely.
But I'll tell you, एक बेशरम सेल्स पिच कर लूँ थोड़ा सा।
बोल दीजिए।
मैंने we our second brand Walk Talk, we launched noodles, which are, I was put 2.5 years because my 2 children eat a lot of noodles. So 2.5 years I spent on making the perfect noodle. No maida, no MSG, no palm oil. Probably a world first. Very, very happy. हमने 5 flavors launch किए. Chowmein, Manchurian, blah blah. One of the flavors was Korean. Korean में मिर्ची इतनी ज़्यादा है. But I was shocked to see the data. It is number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, यार इतना healthy बना रहे हैं, but people only want spice, Nobody's giving us wow, well done on the no maida, no palm oil, no MSG, but Korean high mirchi de do. So, so much Korean we are selling, it's amazing.
That's fantastic. So tell me, from an entrepreneurial point of view, because you're also a judge on Shark Tank, right? So how are you seeing the new India get into businesses, getting to create businesses, get into entrepreneurship?
See, the thing is, on Shark Tank, this time, frankly, again, it goes back to me being a very proud Indian. I was amazed. Not amazed, heartwarmed. We had people pitching to us from Darbhanga. And very honestly, if India has to, India will obviously, we will achieve our dream of being Viksit Bharat. But Viksit Bharat mein entrepreneurs will have a very big role to play. Imagine, like every small entrepreneur can generate 4-5 people ki employment and so on and forward from that. And we are a country which, jisko kehte hai, India runs on jugaad. Jugaad at the end of the day is entrepreneurship. That is basically.
Agreed.
So when we complete our dream of Viksit Bharat, entrepreneurs will play a very, very big role in this whole journey. And this time I was so amazed to see from the smallest towns, people were coming to Shark Tank and pitching. It was the best feeling ever.
Yeah. And I was just reading this story. Like after your family sold Fun Foods, right? A move I believe that you also opposed. What drove you to strike out on your own instead of joining an established company or taking the safer path?
Simply the only reason was I had that entrepreneurship bug. Again, मैं फिर से बोलना चाहता हूँ, I did not know the word entrepreneurship, but अगर crudely बोलूँ तो धंधा करने का बहुत मन था. And that was, since I was 13-14 I had that कि यार business करना है, कुछ करना है, अपना करना है. And also, to be equally honest, it was very selfish. अपने लिए करना था. उस time पे, as a child, I did not think of making India proud or anything like that. But the thing of wanting to do something and walking away from the family and then starting that restaurant business, failing in it, then starting sauce. वैसे एक दिन I'll go back to the restaurant business because I want to do that also. But
how difficult is that part? The restaurant business, is it easier today than
जैसे
it
भी
was?
आपने वो स्टडी बोली ना, किसी ने मेरे को बाद में बताया था कि 97% of all restaurants fail. मैंने कहा पहले बताते थे यार, तो शायद मैं खोलता नहीं. But restaurant business is difficult and what is most difficult or the weird thing, having failed badly at a business, is the weird thing about the restaurant business is the public failure. So if Viba is not doing well, you don't know. But if my restaurant business is not doing well, you know. So failure and public failure is something which is, I have faced both. So I have realized public failure is much more difficult than normal failure.
You spoke about 97% of the businesses, restaurants, right, not being successful. Is there a number like that, a data for let's say startups? I don't know what the strike rate is.
So I don't know, there's no data like that, but the normal saying in the investor community is when we take a punt on 10 companies, we are happy if even one succeeds. Because in the smaller, in the VC or angel world, because when they come in, the risk is very high. Maybe out of the 10, one will become a big company, 3 will become mediocre, and 6 will fail. But they need one hit to return the whole fund. But 1 out of 10 become big, and then 3-4 are, you know, like normal businesses, they stay and they thrive and they grow, but they might not ever go public, or they might not do any. And, you know, in fact, there's a problem with our media also. We celebrate unicorn. कि यार यूनिकॉर्न बन गए, इसने, you know, 8,000 करोड़ की वैल्यूएशन. यूनिकॉर्न बनना इज नॉट टू बी सेलिब्रेटेड. जिस दिन कोई यूनिकॉर्न बनता है,
प्रेशर,
उस दिन तो उसको पैसे मिलते हैं ना, काम तो अब शुरू हुए. ये हम ऐसे सेलिब्रेट करते हैं कि ये बंदा सुपर हिट हो गया. उसके बाद तो काम शुरू होता है. द डे यू गेट द मनी, और द हायर द वैल्यूएशन, द मोर द प्रेशर, द मोर यू हैव टू रिटर्न फॉर द इन्वेस्टर्स, द मोर यू हैव टू डू फॉर द इन्वेस्टर्स. सो यूनिकॉर्न बनना शुड नॉट बी सेलिब्रेटेड. यूनिकॉर्न बनने के बाद तो आपको पैसे मिलते हैं कि और काम करो, और काम करो. सो you know, unicorn जिस दिन आप बनते हो, the day, in fact, forget unicorn, even taking funding should not be celebrated by founders, because the day we get, I have raised three rounds of funding, but the day, every day I have taken money, all those, the last time we raised money was in 2018 or 19, but I remember feeling, oh yaar, और काम करना पड़ेगा, और लोगों का पैसा ले लिया, और return करना पड़ेगा. So just why celebrate something which is putting more pressure on you?
Yeah. Do you see more younger, because this is the youth summit and we have a lot of young audience, do you see more youngsters pitching their ideas, becoming entrepreneurs? Have you seen that average age get, lesser and lesser?
Absolutely, absolutely. And जब तक मैं शार्क टैंक पे नहीं गया था, I used to think of myself as the younger entrepreneurs. I realize how wrong I am. But you know, so many people. But also my sincerest advice to all young founders is, whenever you get a entrepreneurship idea, it comes from your experiences in life. आप जो life में करते हो, उसके experience से you get an idea. The more experiences you gain, जो एक 22-year-old विराज को आइडिया अच्छा लगता था, वो आज एक 40-year-old या 43 years का मैं हूँ, मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगता. So the more experience you gain in life, so I always tell aspiring founders 2 things. One, get some experience in life, because not to work and get, अपने जूतों घुसे वाली बात नहीं कर रहा, just to get more ideas. The more exposure you have in life, the more ideas you get in life. And second is, don't do a startup because मेरे को startup करना है. It will boil you, fry you, grill you, give you sleepless nights. So be passionate about your end goal. Don't do a startup just for the sake of doing a startup. Be very passionate about the cause, not the company.
And you know, fighting against the biggies, I mean, how difficult is it to sustain and yet be a big company and a successful one at that? I mean, starting off, my first question to you was that when you're fighting the big guys like Kisan and the rest, how difficult is it?
So we are worthy competitors of them. I would not say fighting or beating or them beating us. Yes. But we are giving them a definite run for their money. We are worthy competitors. We also launch products. We try and launch products which are new, which are different. You know, can you imagine 75 years after Indian independence, the first Indian company to launch a preservative-free tomato ketchup is Viba. थोड़ी गलत बात है ना, जब यूरोप और यूएस के बच्चे प्रेजर्वेटिव फ्री केचप ले रहे हैं तो हमारे बच्चे क्यों ना ले? सो व्हाई डज इट टेक अ वीबा 75 years after independence to launch India's first preservative free or first Indian company to launch a preservative free tomato ketchup? So I really respect all our honorable opposition. They are great companies. I have grown up consuming the brands you just mentioned. But today we are a worthy competitor to them. Sometimes even, sometimes they win, sometimes they rag us. थोड़ी बहुत ragging तो बनती है. New entry आई है. What sort of ragging? थोड़ी बहुत हर type की बनती है. I mean, why not? We learn from them all the time, so why not?
So this preservative is an interesting, subject, because in the news we've covered often, and there are global players, right? I don't want to name them. But the standards they apply in Switzerland or in Europe are never the standards they apply in India. What's your take on that? Because I remember you saying that you believe in India, you're a nationalist. Why should our markets be taken for granted?
Absolutely not. So my take is very simple. The companies sell products at the price that the market is willing to pay. So if sugar reduces the cost of a product, if the market's capacity is not there to buy that product, they have to put sugar. But the right approach should be have both the SKUs. So anyone it should be the consumer's choice that this is available at X rupees, this is available at 1.5x rupees. But you should have both available because someone who cannot afford a low sugar item, because a reduced sugar will also increase the cost dramatically.
Yes.
So that does not take the right away from him to get a product made in a world-class manufacturing facility. So it should not be, it is not only about, beating the companies from West, but the companies from West should give us both. Like if today we have a sugar-free ketchup, but we also have a ketchup with sugar. So if the consumer wants to pay more for a sugar-free ketchup, it is there. But we cannot take an approach that India should only get the inferior product. I'm saying it's not even inferior. I'm saying give both. Let the consumer decide. That should, at least that is our approach. We are saying that if someone wants, अगर मैंने sugar वाली ketchup बनानी बंद कर दी, तो और what will be the result? The consumer will only get a bad kaddu ki sauce, right? We don't want that thing to happen also. If our buying parity is increasing or the price or the money we can give is increasing, have both. Have the sugar variant, because if you remove the sugar-free variant, then the consumer will if you remove the sugar variant, the consumer will be forced to go to a product which might not be manufactured in the most world-class systems or qualities.
Yeah.
So it is important to give the consumer and let the consumer decide कि sir आपको ये चाहिए तो ये भी है. Yes, there's a premium. और अगर ये चाहिए तो ये भी है.
Yeah. So
I'm very proud of the fact even our sugar ketchup has got the lowest sugar content,
among the competitors.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how do you expand and become a multi-thousand crore company? From 700 cities, how do you expand further and yet maintain your core identity and quality? How difficult is that? How do you balance that?
It is very difficult. So we are doing a lot of new brands like Walk Talk, as I mentioned, is a brand where we have the distribution, we have the innovation. Let's plug the two, because the company's DNA of agility and launching new products, all Viba consumers expect us to launch some new products and give them variety. As the company is growing larger and larger, sometimes that becomes a challenge. We can't keep. Now today we live with the problem that we can't launch a product which does not go into at least 50% of our distribution network. So we are launching new brands and also new geographies. We've entered Canada, we've entered UAE, and I feel एक generation में एक Indian MNC तो बन ही सकती है. Why can't Viba be that company to be India's first MNC in this generation? With so much respect for a company like Marico.
Yeah.
Well, these are the live pictures coming in of the Prime Minister as well as Ursula von der Leyen, the European Union chief, I beg your pardon there, holding bilateral talks. There you can see the Prime Minister as well as the chief ministers as well present in that particular meeting. You can see Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Prahlad Joshi, and Union Law Minister Meghwal. You have Khattar as well there accompanying the Prime Minister. Alongside the Prime Minister is External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar too, who's present at this all-important meeting. And this meeting is currently being held by the Prime Minister as well as the European Union chief. Well, we'll get you more details, but let's stick to the pictures, viewers. These are the pictures, live pictures coming in from the national capital, where you can see the European Union chief there, Ursula von der Leyen, holding talks with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on various sectors of cooperation. There will be talks held on energy, trade, as well as cooperation between the two sides. And EU President has vouched for a new era of ties with India, praises Prime Minister Modi's Viksit Bharat as well. We have our
Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor also joining us on the phone lines. Abhishek, we have pictures coming in from the national capital between the European Union chief as well as the Prime Minister. Talks are being held. If you could shed light on these talks that are being held.
Well, you see, these are significant talks because after the European Union elections that happened in the month of November, December last year, this is the first visit abroad outside of Europe for the European Union commissioners and its chief Ursula von der Leyen, and they land in New Delhi. And that really underscores the importance that's being given by the European Commission to India and its relationship and larger partnership with India. We had Ursula von der Leyen just a while back make a very important speech in which she underscored the fact that India and European Union is India's biggest trading partner, and B, she announced that we are looking at the possibility of having a defense pact also with the between the European Union and India. Now, that's important because Europe is, we know, passing through a crisis. There is already a bit of a Trump flux that added to the already going war in Europe between Russia and Ukraine. And in that sense, I think this is significant that the European Commission and its president and all the commissioners together traveling for the first time make India their first diplomatic pit stop outside of Europe. She has spoken about a free trade agreement, preliminary talks for which have happened. She has in fact put a deadline that let's try and finish it by the end of this year. And that's really ambitious for India's trade partnership, India's defense and strategic partnership, and the overall people-to-people connections and the history that exists between India and Europe. So very significant visit there, Deepak, between happening with the European Union, European Commission, traveling the President along with all the commissioners and spending 2 days in Delhi, and the engagement that we are seeing with the Indian side. Earlier we had trade talks happening with the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, and IT Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav there leading the delegation talks, and now we have Prime Minister there. And then, of course, the rest of the visit panning out. It's a very significant visit and underscores the salience of India in the overall scheme of things in the Committee of Nations, as also specifically Europe. Remember, on the issue of war, the Prime Minister has spoken ad nauseum that this is not an era of wars. In fact, he has also said that we are not neutral. We have taken a side. We have taken a side for peace. And now that, as we speak, there are talks happening between US and Russia in Turkey and Istanbul. That's the second round of talks in just less than 10 days. And so Trump has made it very clear that this war has to end. And in between all the deal making, the fact that the European Commission leadership is in New Delhi speaks volumes about India's role also in some ways.
Right, Abhishek, thank you for joining us with those details. In fact, just a few moments back, Ursula von der Leyen also shed light on how India as well as Europe, the cultures are alike. Let's listen in.
The European Union and India are uniquely placed to respond to these challenges. India is the largest democracy and soon to be in the top 4 of the world's largest economies. It is the leading voice of the global South. Europe is a unique cross-border democracy and open economy, the largest trading partner for some 80 countries around the world. But this partnership makes sense not only because of our shared values and our close ties, or even because of our respective geographies, demographies, and economies, but it is because our interests in this hyper-globalized world align more often than not. We both stand to lose from a world of spheres of influence and isolationism, and we both stand to gain from a world of cooperation and working together. Because we can offer each other distinctive alternatives and tools to make ourselves stronger, more secure, and more sovereign in today's world.
With that, viewers, we'll get you more on these ties that they're discussing to further better them in the near future. On the other side of this short break, stay tuned.
Director, the taste of success.
You know, was going through your entire journey. How did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this. We all love to be princesses, and that was the idea in a 4-year-old girl's mind that Miss India means you get to be the princess of the country, and that's what I thought. Then, I mean, life happened, and I think I pretty much never thought about it again up until I was 14, and I remember watching the Miss World finals again, and it was being telecasted on a television channel, and I remember watching the finals, and suddenly, you know, my interest into the competition sparked because I realized that this is so much more. It's a platform for young girls from every field. You could be anyone from anywhere, and it's a great platform to get visibility, which also increases the amount of opportunities you have. Where I come from, growing up, you know, you had to either choose to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. I remember my relatives telling me, "Koi baat nahi, beta."
You know, was going through your entire journey. How did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this. We all love to be princesses, and that was the idea in a 4-year-old girl's mind that Miss India means you get to be the princess of the country, and that's what I thought. Then, I mean, life happened, and I think I pretty much never thought about it again up until I was 14, and I remember watching the Miss World finals again, and it was being telecasted on a television channel, and I remember watching the finals, and suddenly, you know, my interest into the competition sparked because I realized that this is so much more. It's a platform for young girls from every field. You could be anyone from anywhere, and it's a great platform to get visibility, which also increases the amount of opportunities you have. Where I come from, growing up, you know, you had to either choose to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. I remember my relatives telling me, "Koi baat nahi, beta, kuch nahi hua, to graduation ke baad IAS ki tayari kar lena." So, you know, those were the options that I grew up with. Acting was never a plan. It happened pretty much after winning Miss World. I went to Miss World thinking that it's a great platform, a great experience, and then let's see what happens. And you know, I always tell this to people who come to me and they tell me that, so if we want to be actors, what do we do? And I say that I'm the wrong person to ask that question because I'm not one of those who would leave everything and just go to Mumbai to become an actor. I believe in having a certain level of security before you try something new in life. There is a certain risk attached to it, but I think that has to be a calculated amount of risk that you need to take. That's how I've been brought up. So it was only after I won Miss World and after I had that platform, when I got the right kind of opportunities, when I transitioned into films. And I guess that's how acting happened.
Okay. Hello everyone, this is Ranveer Brar and I'm honored to be speaking at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025, India's most powerful gathering of leaders, visionaries and changemakers. Under the theme of Limitless India, we celebrate the spirit of innovation that has shaped our country and its future. It's going to be a power-packed summit and you can join me as we discuss the next chapter of India's transformation. See you at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on the 6th of March, only on Republic Media Network.
BJP ups the ante against Aam Aadmi Party, says CAG report on health department policies will expose how AAP government looted taxpayers' money. Over 72 hours later, Pune police ring-fence and detained rape accused Dattatreya Gade from sugarcane field. After Allahabad High Court verdict, ASI to conduct second round of inspection of Shahi Jama Masjid in Sambhal.
My vision of the three areas. The first is trade and technology, the second is security and defense, and the third is connectivity and global partnerships.
European Union President Ursula von der Leyen meets PM Modi. AM Jaishankar in national capital confirms the largest free trade deal between India and European Union. First up, viewers, we have some big breaking news coming in ahead of the tabling of the CAG report today. The BJP has criticized the Delhi government's liquor policy, accusing it of gross irregularities and wasting people's hard-earned money. The BJP claimed that the Aam Aadmi Party, which calls itself transparent, has engaged in corruption and promised to recover the money for the people of the national capital. This is a big charge coming in from the BJP, saying that Aam Aadmi Party looted the taxpayers' money. They have also said that there are gross irregularities in the liquor policy, which stands scrapped. Let's listen into BJP reactions coming in.
कि जिस प्रकार की घोर अनियमितताएं इस लिकर पॉलिसी में की गई, जिस तरह से जनता की गाड़ी कमाई को भ्रष्टाचार में डुबो दिया गया, जिस तरीके से सभी नियम और कायदे कानूनों को ताक पे रख दिया गया, लाइसेंस बांट दिए गए, कमीशन को बढ़ा दिया गया, खुदरा जो रिटेल शॉप्स थी वो बढ़ा दी गई, जो मानक थे BIS के उनका पालन नहीं किया गया। ये सारे के सारे विषय जो लगातार एक लंबी रिपोर्ट है CAG की इसमें आई है, और अभी तो जो सरकारी अधिकारी हैं उनके पास 1 महीने का समय सभापति जी ने दिया है, उस पर उनकी टिप्पणी आएंगी। इसके बाद PAC में ये पूरा विषय जाएगा और निश्चित रूप से दिल्ली के जनता के साथ जो बड़ा भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है, जिस प्रकार से घोर अनियमितताएं हुई हैं, और अपने आप को पारदर्शी कहने वाली पार्टी जिसने दिल्ली के लोगों के साथ धोखा किया, बड़ा भ्रष्टाचार किया, तो निश्चित रूप से एक एक पैसा दिल्ली के लोगों का वापस आने की अब तैयारी है।
आज अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के घोटालों की एक और कैग रिपोर्ट दिल्ली के विधानसभा के पटल पर रखी जाएगी। किस तरह से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने हॉस्पिटल सेहत सर्विसेज के नाम के ऊपर दिल्ली को लूटने का काम किया, हॉस्पिटल बनाने के नाम के ऊपर किस तरह से तय बजट से 350 करोड़ रुपया फालतू जो उन्होंने करप्शन के लिए अपनी जेबों में डालने का काम किया, किस तरह से मोहल्ला क्लिनिक जिनको कहते थे अमेरिका कनाडा देखने आता, उसमें बिजली ही नहीं थी, बिना बिजली के मोहल्ला क्लिनिक चले और उनको किराया भी देता रहे और लूटते रहे दोनों हाथों से दिल्ली को, जो लूटने का काम किया था। आज दूसरी कैग रिपोर्ट भी बताएगी, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी आपके सारे चिट्ठे खोलेगी और बताएगी कि तुम कट्टर बेईमान हो, कट्टर बेईमान हो।
Priyanka is joining me live from the national capital. Priyanka, the BJP has said that every single penny that's looted by the Aam Aadmi Party from the taxpayers will be returned back to the people. Tell us more about these attacks coming in from the Saffron Party.
We already know that the BJP has been attacking and launching several claims against the Aam Aadmi Party, and the fact that we know that there have been immense financial loss that has been now coming into light after the CAG report. The one on the liquor policy and the second, which is expected today, is going to be also be tabled. So we have in fact seen a huge amount of financial irregularities that can be witnessed, which exposes the amount of corruption that has been done by the Aam Aadmi Party earlier during their regime. And the BJP has very clearly said that the taxpayers' money was being used by the Aam Aadmi Party in corruption, and that money will now be returned to the people of the national capital. That is a promise that the BJP is making, and it is also said those who will be found guilty will be facing punishment by the law. We've already seen that top leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party were behind the bars regarding the excise policy scam, and it is expected that more such expose will be coming to light, given today as the session begins in some time now. We will be seeing the tabling of the CAG report in the financial audit of health infrastructure in the national capital. We have also accessed that there has been a huge amount of financial loss that was also suffered there, because there was crores of money which was given by the central government to the Delhi government, out of which most of it was not used, and there is no trace of where that money has gone. So yes, a lot of fireworks is expected on that front as well.
Right, Priyanka, stay on with me. There's a reaction coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party, which has hit back at the BJP, stressing on the fact that the health department policy was in fact transparent and led to a profit of 2,000 crore rupees. In fact, stay on with me, viewers. We have some big breaking news coming in. Leader of opposition, Atishi, has in fact written a letter, but let's shift our focus to another breaking news that we're tracking. A glacier outburst has been reported in Uttarakhand. This in Badrinath. This is the latest breaking news that we're tracking. The situation remains tense. Glacier outburst on the national highway in Badrinath. 40 workers likely buried under snow. The situation is indeed dire, viewers. In Badrinath, there is a glacier outburst that has been reported right now, and as we speak, the situation is being ascertained as to what's happening. Tanisha is joining us live. Tanisha, tell us about this glacier burst in Badrinath Dham in Uttarakhand. What are we tracking so far?
Well, absolutely. It's a very unfortunate news that's coming in. We learn that there has been a glacier burst in Badrinath. It's been on the national highway in Badrinath in Uttarakhand. We're getting in reports, however, these are not confirmed, that there are reports of workers likely being trapped under the snow. Now, the Chamoli Uttarakhand DM Sandeep Tiwari has also given a soundbite where he has said that according to the meteorological department, the orange alert was received. Now, that indicated heavy rain and snowfall occurring in the district, so a warning was given already. Now, the higher altitude areas such as Badrinath Dham, Hanuman Chatti and Malari area and Oli are experiencing heavy snowfall currently, while other tehsils are experiencing continuous snowfall. Now, this could be, remember, the monsoon season, and amid the monsoon season, we know that there has been a glacier burst in the national highway on Uttarakhand. Now, the Indian Meteorological Department has issued an orange alert for heavy rain and snowfall in Uttarkashi, Chamoli, Rudraprayag and other districts. All of them fall under Uttarakhand. Now, a western disturbance will strengthen is what the Indian Meteorological Department says, saying that this will bring intense snowfall in higher regions and rain in the plains. Deepak.
Right, Tanisha, just a couple of years back, a similar incident was witnessed. A catastrophic glacier burst occurred in Uttarakhand's Chamoli district, leading to massive flooding and the tragic loss of lives. And this is another episode that we are witnessing 4 years later after the 2021 incident. Now, reports are suggesting that 40 workers are feared to be trapped. Rescue teams will be rushed to the spot immediately. And we're tracking all the developments on ground zero. This incident has happened on the national highway. And what we understand, according to sources and according to reports, that around 40 to 50 workers are feared trapped following a glacier outbreak in Uttarakhand's Chamoli district. Tanisha, what about the rescue operations? Is there any update on the teams being rushed to the spot?
That will be sent to the spot immediately, because we are learning that there are reports of some construction workers being trapped under the snow. We learned that nearly 10 workers have been rescued. We are also getting a soundbite from the district magistrate, Sandeep Tiwari. Now, he says that the meteorological department had issued an orange alert. Now, this was done after they received indicates of heavy rain and snowfall occurring in the district during the monsoon season. The higher altitude areas such as Badrinath Dham, Hanuman Chatti, Malari area, these are the districts, these are the tehsils to be specific, that has been under high alert, under orange alert to be specific. Now, one of the highly tourist areas, Oli, is also experiencing heavy snowfall, while other tehsils are experiencing continuous rainfall. Now, this could likely be an indication of the situation getting worse. All eyes are now on when will the rescue teams will be there on the spot. The Indian Meteorological Department had already issued an orange alert for heavy rain and snowfall in Uttarkashi, Chamoli, Rudraprayag and other districts. All of these districts, remember, fall under Uttarakhand. Western disturbance will strengthen is what the Indian Meteorological Department has said, bringing intense snowfall in higher regions and rain in the plains. Now, the Indian Meteorological Department has already issued a high alert, an orange alert, and they are saying that the strong winds will strengthen, and then this is likely to bring intense snowfall and rainfall in the region. So the situation is likely to get worse. However, the Indian Meteorological Department has also said that all of the areas where they are going to receive heavy snowfall and rainfall have been kept on high alert. So this has given a time to the residents of that area to ensure that they move to the safe places beforehand. Remember what we saw we saw a few years back in Kedarnath. We cannot experience that again, and hence the rescue teams are already on their way to ensure that no untoward incidents take place. We already have visuals from Uttarakhand, which shows heavy snowfall in the region. Now, Rudraprayag, which is one of the way to Kedarnath, has already been put under high alert, under orange alert, is what we know. Now, the workers of a private construction were engaged in road construction. there are nearly 47 construction workers. However, these are not confirmed. Reports say that 47 construction workers are trapped under the snow. These are just reports. There is an official confirmation that is waited on the same. Meanwhile, we are also getting in a reaction from the district magistrate to what he had to say.
मौसम निदेशालय के अनुसार जो ऑरेंज अलर्ट हमें प्राप्त हुआ था तो भारी बारिश और बर्फबारी जनपद में चल रही है। जो हाइट्स वाले एरिया हैं बद्रीनाथ धाम, हनुमान चट्टी, नीति मलारी के एरियाज और औली में वहाँ बर्फबारी हो रही है और बाकी तहसीलों में लगातार बारिश चल रही है। तो अभी फ़िलहाल कोई मेजर रोड हमारा अवरुद्ध नहीं है, लेकिन 4-5 ब्लॉक्स में गैरसेन, देवाल, नारायणबगड़, थराली और जोशीमठ के कुछ हिस्सों में बिजली आपूर्ति फीडर में खराबी आने के कारण बाधित हुई है, जिस पर अभी टेक्निकल टीम काम कर रही है और बारिश के कारण उन्हें दिक्कत आ रही है काम करने में। आशा है कि जैसे ही मौसम थोड़ा सा अनुकूल होगा तो ये बिजली सप्लाई रिस्टोर कर दी जाएगी और जहाँ भी हमें कहीं सूचना प्राप्त हो रही है, जैसे जोशीमठ वाली रोड अभी बर्फ़ से बंद है, मंडल चोपता रोड बंद है, तो कंसर्न एजेंसीज वहाँ जीसीबी और अन्य मशीन से रास्ता साफ करवा रही है और अभी स्थिति सामान्य बनी हुई है। किसी तरह की कोई प्रतिकूल खबर हमारे पास नहीं है।
In fact, Tanisha, there are also reports which suggest that there was a BRO camp. Like you were mentioning, there were road construction activities going on in full swing, and that's when this particular glacier burst was reported. And right now, 40 to 50 workers have been trapped, is what we understand. This is a massive avalanche that has been reported on this particular highway where the construction work was happening. Now, the IMD has also issued an orange alert. So far, are there any reports of workers being rescued, Tanisha?
Confirmation on the same. However, the Chamoli police of Uttarakhand has released a statement. We've just accessed that statement where they've said that due to continuous rainfall in the district from 27th of February, that is yesterday, stones and debris are continuously falling in the landslide area near Nandprayag on National Highway number 7. Given out the specifics onto which area the landslides have happened, this is near the Nandprayag on National Highway number 7. Now, the Chamoli police of Uttarakhand has also said that due to which there may be a loss of life and property due to movement of vehicles at the said place. Now, the Chamoli police has gone on record and said that there could be likely a loss of life and property. Now, this is due to the movement of vehicles at the said place where the landslides have happened. Now, at present, in view of the continuous rainfall in the district, the forecast is issued by the Meteorological Department, Dehradun, keeping in mind the safety of general public. The movement of vehicles from the said place, that is near Nandprayag National Highway number 7, is prohibited with immediate effect from noon today to 5 p.m. tomorrow. So the vehicle movement has completely been halted on the National Highway number 7, which is near the Nandprayag area, which is experiencing heavy snowfall. Landslides also happened. Now, the Chamoli police is saying that the prohibition of movement of vehicles comes at a time from 12 noon today to 5 p.m. tomorrow. Now, during the said period, the movement of vehicles will be done through Nandprayag, Khotisyan, Chamoli, Gopeshwar Motor Road. So there's an alternate mode as well, so that there is no stoppage of movement for the tourists who are already traveling or who are already on their way. There are reports. That's a big break is also coming in. 57 workers were buried under the glacier near Mana village in Badrinath in Chamoli. Now, 10 workers have already been rescued.
Well, we seem to have lost that line, but we'll get Tanisha back on the phone line to give us more insights. But what we understand is that sources have informed Republic TV that 57 workers were buried under a glacier near Mana village in Badrinath Dham in Chamoli. And of them, 10 workers have been rescued. The search is on for the remaining 47 workers. Like I mentioned earlier, all of these workers are set to be involved in the road construction activities under a contract of the BRO, which is the Border Roads Organization. So what we understand is that the situation is really tense. The IMD has also issued an orange alert. The police has said that there could be loss of life, and the rescue operations continue on a war footing, because this is a very dire situation that's being reported in this particular region, which is an avalanche-prone region. We have seen in the past as well that similar incidents have occurred in 2021 too. Another glacier burst was reported, in which loss of lives were also reported. Rescue operations were underway, and a similar scene is unfolding right now as well. Let's listen into the DM once again.
मौसम निदेशालय के अनुसार जो ऑरेंज अलर्ट हमें प्राप्त हुआ था, तो भारी बारिश और बर्फबारी जनपद में चल रही है। जो हाइट्स वाले एरिया हैं, बद्रीनाथ धाम, हनुमान चट्टी, नीति मलारी के एरिया और औली में, वहाँ बर्फबारी हो रही है और बाकी तहसीलों में लगातार बारिश चल रही है। तो अभी फ़िलहाल कोई मेजर रोड हमारा अवरुद्ध नहीं है, लेकिन 4-5 ब्लॉक्स में गैरसैंण, देवाल, नारायणबगड़, थराली और जोशीमठ के कुछ हिस्सों में बिजली आपूर्ति फीडर में खराबी आने के कारण बाधित हुई है, जिस पर अभी टेक्निकल टीम काम कर रही है और बारिश के कारण उन्हें दिक्कत आ रही है काम करने में। आशा है कि जैसे ही मौसम थोड़ा सा अनुकूल होगा तो ये बिजली सप्लाई रिस्टोर कर दी जाएगी। और जहाँ भी हमें कहीं सूचना प्राप्त हो रही है, जैसे जोशीमठ वाली रोड अभी बर्फ़ से बंद है, मंडल चोपता रोड बंद है, तो कंसर्न एजेंसीज वहाँ जीसीबी और अन्य मशीन भेज के रास्ता साफ करवा रही है और अभी स्थिति सामान्य बनी हुई है। किसी तरह की कोई प्रतिकूल खबर हमारे पास नहीं है।
Well, this glacier burst is mainly because of the western disturbance, which has brought heavy snowfall in these hilly parts, and this coupled by rain has made the situation worse, thereby resulting in a glacier burst. Madhurima is joining us live from the newsroom. Madhurima, tell us what's happening on ground zero. Glacier burst has been reported. 47 workers are still missing. 10 of them, according to sources, have been rescued.
Well, Deepak, what we are learning from our sources so far now, that the number of workers that are feared trapped following the glacier outburst could be up to 57. But yes, like you rightly pointed out, that 10 workers have been rescued so far. Search operations are underway for the rest of the 47 workers. All of these workers are said to be contractors engaged in BRO's contract. Let me recap for our viewers that it has happened after a very heavy snowfall, spell of very heavy snowfall, and following that an avalanche occurred near the Mana area, which is just a couple of kilometers ahead of Badrinath Dham. Badrinath, we know it's one of the 4 dhams, and this has occurred near that. What we are learning at the moment is that some of the workers, like we pointed out, around 47 of them are still there. Administration and the BRO team have left for the spot. Workers of all these workers, Deepak, were from a private company, but they were working for a BRO contract. We'll have to wait and watch as to what really happens. But yes, all hands on deck at the moment, Deepak. What we are learning is that the state government has also called in for help from all quarters. At the moment, the state police along with the rescue teams have left for this particular area, for the affected area. This is near Chamoli. Remember, Chamoli has been a vulnerable area for a very long time. Couple of years back as well, there was a cloud burst, following which many were trapped inside a tunnel in Tapovan, and this has happened in somewhat nearby the similar vicinity that this glacier
glacier burst has happened. We'll have to see what really happens. According to the meteorological department, what we're learning from meteorological department and the Chamoli police, they have said that due to continuous rainfall in the district, ever since the 27th, stone and debris continue to fall and causing multiple landslides as well near this area. So this was an area that was already under landslide, the affected landslides, and now this has happened, due to which there were many loss of life and property as well at that particular time. But as of now, if you talk about this particular incident, no loss of life has been reported yet. What we know is 10 of them have been rescued safely. Rescue operations for 47 of them are still on. Deepak.
Right, Madhurima, we have more breaking news coming in. 15 workers have been rescued and they have been shifted to the army hospital. That's a big update. 15 workers of the 57 others who are trapped. 15 of them have now been rescued and they have been shifted to the army hospital. And this after a glacier burst in Mana Pass of Uttarakhand's Chamoli district. It inflicted damage to the nearby Border Roads Organization camp as well. Army and the ITBP personnel have been rushed to the incident site for rescue operations. And remember, viewers, the Mana Pass is one of the highest vehicle accessible passes in the world. And according to report, the Chamoli district magistrate has also said that he was not able to establish a connection with the persons present at the spot. But however, now we have reports coming in that 15 workers have been rescued and they have been shifted to the army hospital. Madhurima, tell us more about the rescue operations.
Well, Deepak, what we are learning at the moment, like you very rightly pointed out, that 15 of them, the number of workers that have been rescued has risen from 10 to 15 now. And all hands on deck, Deepak, at this particular moment on the spot where the avalanche has occurred in Chamoli. What we are learning from a reporter also from there, that all these workers were involved in this contract work of building roads over there in the affected area. They were all involved in building the roads, following which they have been working despite the bad weather in the condition at that particular spot. Deepak, now we'll have to wait and watch as to how fast this rescue operation is augmented by the state administration. But yes, the senior most state administration has already taken the cognizance of the matter. All hands on deck. The number of people who've been rescued has risen from 10 to 15, but the number is still very high. 57 of them were initially trapped, out of which 50 have been rescued. Rest of them still under the debris. The entire operation will have to be accelerated. The pace has to accelerate to make sure that all of them should be taken out in time, because all of these 15 as well, Deepak, what we're learning at the moment, all of these 15 workers who have been rescued from that debris of following the avalanche have been shifted to the army hospital and are in serious condition. So we'll have to still wait and watch and find out if all of them make out of this entire serious condition, if they all get stable soon. Our prayers with them. But at the same time, the rescue operations are on. This had happened just a couple of hours back. Deepak, Chamoli is altogether a very vulnerable area, Deepak, where, as I told you, that a couple of years back during the Tapovan glacier burst as well, that affected Tapovan, Joshi Math and the neighboring areas. This particular area that is near Badrinath has also been affected. The entire highway, the Mana area, a couple of kilometers away from Badrinath, has been affected. Now we have to see as to how fast-paced are the rescue operations going to be, Deepak. But the good news is 15 of them have been saved so far. They have been rushed to the army hospital. Deepak.
Right, Madhurima, the situation remains dire as many workers continue to remain trapped. The Army and ITBP personnel have been swiftly deployed to the site to conduct the rescue operations in such challenging and treacherous weather conditions, because one avalanche could trigger another one, and that's what these rescue personnel are fearing, especially during these operations, because they are vulnerable to not just the ground below them, but also to the glaciers surrounding them as well. And we'll have to wait and watch what comes out, but what we know is that 15 of them have been rescued and they have been moved to the army hospital nearby.
Well, yes, Deepak, what we're learning at the particular moment is that the entire, like I was saying, that all hands on deck are needed if we want to rescue all those who are trapped inside the debris. What we're learning is that the State Disaster Response Force Team, the SDRF, the NDRF and the Indo-Tibetan Border Police ITBP all have been deployed to lead this particular rescue operation. So along with the BRO management, the state administration, we now have the SDRF, that is the State Disaster Response Team, the National Disaster Response Team and the Indo-Tibetan Border Response Team. All of them have been deployed to the site. They are being rushed to the spot to make sure that all lives are saved. All 57 of them are saved and sent to the hospital in time, because Deepak, what we are learning is that 15 of them, all those who have been saved until now, have been sent to the army hospital, but their condition continues to be very serious. Deepak.
Well, Madhurima, with the glacier burst now triggering more probably risks for these rescue teams, because there is a heightened risk of further damage as well in the coming hours, and teams are also concerned about the potential for additional avalanches. So do you think that this could probably be, another challenge for these rescue teams?
Well, absolutely, Deepak, because the weather and the snow is already creating massive hindrance in this entire rescue operation. And we'll have to see as to how soon the SDRF and the NDRF team, along with the ITBP team, can reach the spot, because like I pointed out, that the entire highway, which is a couple of kilometers away from the spot, has been affected because of the avalanche debris. So that is also going to make things difficult for the rescue teams to reach the spot. At the same time, we should not forget that in such weather, it is very difficult for the choppers, the security and the safety choppers, to even fly and reach the spot. But yes, all the State Disaster Response Team and the Central Disaster Response Team, all of them have been rushed to the spot to make sure that maximum people can be saved from that avalanche debris. The good news here is that the 15 people have been rescued so far. They have been rushed to the army hospital. But yes, the entire matter continues to be very serious, because rest of them are still under the debris. All the 57 workers who were working on a BRO road project, they were all construction workers of a private company that were employed by the BRO for that road development program, and they were working on it when this incident occurred a couple of hours back, Deepak. But yes, the number of people who've been rescued, that number has risen to 15. We'll have to wait and watch as to how soon the administration is able to save them all.
That's right. Madhurima is getting us all those updates. And Madhurima, we are also showing some of the pictures there on a screen, given the fact that, the weather conditions are looking quite tough, very tough weather conditions. A glacier burst in Uttarakhand Chamoli district has trapped around 57 workers. At least 40 plus workers are trapped, from what we understand. Speaking of rescue operations, do we have any number as to how many people have been rescued so far?
Well, yes, Shivangi, number of people those who've been rescued is 15. Initially, it was 10. The administration got on it as soon as the news came. 10 workers were rescued immediately, and the number has risen to 15. What needs to be seen here is what is going to make it difficult for all the response teams like the SDRF, the NDRF, and the ITBP, that the incident has occurred in a high altitude area near the India-China border, where the BRO personnel were engaged in the road construction work, and because of the incident has taken in a high altitude area, the entire operation becomes comparatively more difficult, and that is why all these teams with expertise of rescue operation have been rushed to the spot. They are all reaching there. According to the Uttarakhand Police Headquarters, the spokesperson of Uttarakhand Police, IG Nilesh Anand Bharne, has apprised the media that this particular avalanche occurred near the BRO organization camp. 57 workers who were involved, like I pointed out, they were trapped. They got trapped inside the debris, under the debris, I beg your pardon. Following that, the BRO management got into action swiftly and saved 10. Now the number has risen to 15. But yes, they have a very long way to go to save all these people because of the bad weather conditions. Shivangi, it is going to be all the more difficult for these response teams to make sure that they are able to rescue these workers safely. Shivangi.
Madhuri was getting us all those updates coming in. We'll try to also, once we get some of the pictures of the rescue mission, we will put that out for our viewers. But speaking about the weather conditions, this is a time where there is heavy rain and snowfall, and the IMD has predicted an orange alert. They have said that they have issued an orange alert given the fact that more heavy rainfall and snowfall could be expected in the Uttarkashi, Chamoli, Rudraprayag and other districts. And a western disturbance is expected to strengthen, bringing intense snowfall in these regions. Now, given the topography of this area, we can expect the rescue mission to be a little bit difficult given the weather conditions, Madhurima.
Well, absolutely, Shivangi. Like I pointed out, that the accident has taken place, that this particular incident where the glacier outburst and the avalanche debris has collected in a very high altitude area. And 57 of these workers who were trapped, 15 of them rescued, all this is happening in a very high altitude area. It's near the India-China border. So one can only fathom the difficulties the entire rescue operation team is going to face, Shivangi. But yes, all hands on deck right now. This particular incident has taken place near Mana. Mana is just a couple of kilometers ahead of the famous Dham Badrinath. Now, what we are learning is that 3 to 4 ambulances have also been sent, but due to heavy snowfall, Shivangi, the rescue team is facing difficulties in reaching there. Like you pointed out, that it's not going to be very easy to it's not going to be very easy to carry out this rescue operation because of the high altitude area. The update that we are getting for our viewers is that 3 to 4 ambulances from the nearby areas have been rushed to this particular spot, to the accident spot, but due to the heavy snowfall that have been continuing ever since the 27th, it is getting very difficult for the rescue operation team to reach the spot, and even the basic medical facilities are also not being able to reach to these people as easily.
चुनौती है, प्रशासन के आगे चुनौती है। मुख्यमंत्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी ने लगातार अधिकारी को दिशा निर्देश दिए, तमाम टीमें वहां पर है, लेकिन मौसम जब तक सही नहीं होता तो निश्चित और रेस्क्यू में चुनौतियां आएंगी, दिक्कतें होंगी। बरसात लगातार हो रही है, बर्फबारी लगातार हो रही है, और जब ये बारिश बरसबारी होती है तो जो उत्तराखंड के जो पहाड़ है वो काफी कच्चे हैं, और ऐसे में लैंडस्लाइड की संभावना बढ़ जाती है, तो भूस्खलन भी वहां पर होता है। अगर हम बात करें 21 में जब तपोवन हादसा यहाँ पर हुआ था रेणी गांव में, उस दौर को भी हमने देखा था, तो निश्चित तौर से काफी चुनौतियों का सामना यहाँ पर अगर बात की जाए प्रशासन करने पड़ा था, और उसके काफी समय बाद तक भी लगातार उनका वो रेस्क्यू लंबा चला था। तो निश्चित तौर से अभी की अगर बात की जाए तो शासन, प्रशासन, सरकार और आपदा प्रबंधन लगातार मुस्तैदी के साथ मौके पर जुटा हुआ है। आईटीबीपी की टीम वहां पर है, बीआरओ के लोग वहां पर है और तेजी से रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन वहां पर चल रहा है। लेकिन जिस तरह से मौसम है, सब कुछ मौसम के ऊपर ही निर्भर करता है कि कब तक जो तमाम और जो 40 से अधिक जो मजदूर सिपाही मजदूर भाई हमारे वहां पर है, उनको सुरक्षित निकाल लिया जाए। इसके साथ ही अगर बात की जाए तो अस्पतालों के यहाँ पर इंतजाम कर दिए गए हैं। जो मार्ग यहाँ पर जैसा कि बताया हमारे सहयोगी ने कि नंदप्रयाग मार्ग यहाँ पर बंद है, पहाड़ को जाने वाले तमाम उन रास्तों को बंद कर दिया गया है ताकि अगर किसी को गाड़ी के व्हीकल से माध्यम से जलाया जाए, क्योंकि रोड सिंगल ही है वहां पर, तो रास्ता ब्लॉक ना हो और रास्ता सुरक्षित मिले। और जब पहाड़ों में बर्फबारी होती है तो गाड़ियों का सड़क में फिसलने का सिलसिला भी रहता है। तो निश्चित तौर से एहतियात बरती जा रही है। हेलीकॉप्टर की बात की जाए, एम्बुलेंस की यहाँ पर व्यवस्था कर दी गई है कि मौसम खुलता है और किसी को जरूरत पड़ती है तो उन्हें लिफ्ट करके जोलीगांठ या फिर हिंद अस्पताल स्केच में लाया जाएगा। इस वक्त मुख्यमंत्री की स्वयं इस पूरे हादसे पर पूरी नजर बनी हुई है।
All right, we're being joined by some of the reactions that we are getting for our viewers. Anuj Kumar Chamoli, DIO, is with us right now to get us a sense of what is happening. If you could take our viewers through some numbers, Mr. Kumar, how many are trapped, how many have been rescued? If you could just take our viewers through the initial numbers.
जी मैम, अभी नंबर की जानकारी नहीं हो पा रही है। डीएम साहब मीटिंग में बैठे हैं और जैसे ही जानकारी होती है तुरंत आपको बताया जाएगा। और बहुत बड़ा वो नहीं है, वो भूस्खलन टाइप का हल्का सा तूफान जैसा है। और जैसे ही नंबर की जानकारी होती है मैं आपको तुरंत सूचित करता हूँ।
हाँ, ओके, बट अभी रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चल रहा है। रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में कौन से टीम्स वहाँ पर हैं? ऑल्सो टेक अ व्यूअर्स थ्रू कौन से टीम्स हैं वहाँ पे? हाउ मेनी पीपल हैव रीच्ड? Which officials are at the spot, Mr. Kumar?
जी मैम, आपदा प्रबंधन की टीम वहाँ पे है और अभी आपदा प्रबंधन की एक मीटिंग भी बुलाई गई है। डीएम साहब लगातार मीटिंग ले रहे हैं और जल्द ही मैं आपको अपडेट करता हूँ मैम, जो भी हो। हेलो।
Also, Mr. Kumar, before I let you go, if you could just take our viewers, वो जो एरिया कैसा है? क्योंकि उस एरिया में बहुत हैवी स्नोफॉल, हैवी रेन है। IMD प्रिडिक्ट कर रहा है कि और रेन हो सकता है और स्नोफॉल हो सकता है। रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन, रेस्क्यू साइट के बारे में कुछ हमारे व्यूअर्स को प्लीज बताइए।
कल रात से लगातार बारिश हो रही है और बारिश के चलते थोड़ा सा धुंध जैसा माहौल है वहाँ पे और हमारी रेस्क्यू टीम SDRF लगातार प्रयास कर रही है। हेलो। और मीटिंग लगातार डीएम साहब मीटिंग कर रहे हैं और मीटिंग के बाद जैसा भी होता है मैं आपको सूचित कर रहा हूँ मैम।
Alright, thank you so much for joining us. Anuj Kumar, DIO Chamoli was with us and he's saying there is a meeting being held by the officials there, by the district magistrate, the DM, and more details will be available to us. But going back to Madhurima, taking some points from Anuj Kumar, DIO Chamoli's reaction and the pointers we have got from him. He has said that some of the rescue teams are already at the spot and there is a good amount of fog, he is saying. Now we were talking about the weather conditions. Of course, we'll try to give our viewers a better perspective, but he did mention the weather conditions and he did mention that some of the teams have already reached the spot, Madhurima.
Well, absolute.
सभी को सुरक्षित जल्दी से जल्दी बाहर।
Well, yes, absolutely, Shivangi. We just heard the DIO Chamoli who said that multiple hectic parleys are being conducted by the local administration along with the state administration to ensure that maximum lives are safe, because we know that initially 57 of them were trapped, following which 15 of them have been rescued. The update that we're getting for our viewers is that Uttarakhand Chief Minister has tweeted and said that yes, it's a sad news. The sad news was
सुरक्षित निकाल लिया गया है। बाकी के लिए सभी प्रयास चल रहे हैं। सभी प्रकार की तैयारियां यहाँ पर कर ली गई हैं। एम्बुलेंस से लेकर आईटीबीपी की मदद ली जा रही है, अन्य संस्थाओं की मदद ली जा रही है। आपदा प्रबंधन विभाग हमारा पूरी तरह से सक्रिय, जिला प्रशासन भी, और हम लोग स्वयं सभी लोग लगातार संपर्क में हैं और हमारा प्रयास है कि सभी को सुरक्षित जल्दी से जल्दी बाहर निकाला जाए।
Well, yes, like I was updating viewers, Shivangi, we just heard the gentleman that maximum effort has been put in place, all hands on deck to make sure that maximum number of workers are rescued. We pray that all of them come out safe. 15 of them have already been rescued and have been airlifted to an army hospital nearby. Their condition remains serious. All the doctors are giving them the medical aid as required. But at the same time, Shivangi, Pushkar Singh Dhami, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, has come out and tweeted. He has tweeted that I pray to Lord Badri Vishal for the safety of all the laborers, brothers who are trapped. He has said that relief and rescue operations are being carried out by ITBP and BRO. Amit's other rescue teams are also involved. He continues to say that these workers were working on a construction project of the road that was being carried out the BRO near Mana village in Chamoli district. But yes, so what this means is that the Uttarakhand Chief Minister is very closely monitoring each and every step, Shivangi. He is monitoring, he is speaking to the local administration, he has spoken to the central agencies, rescue agencies of the NDRF, the ITBP and the SDRF. All of them have been pulled in by the Chief Minister. 15 workers rescued, Shivangi. Rest still remain under the debris. We'll see how swiftly can these workers be rescued from the debris. Shivangi.
You know, was going through your entire journey. How did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this, we all love to be princesses, and that was the idea in a 4-year-old girl's mind, that Miss India means you get to be the princess of the country, and that's what I thought. Then, I mean, life happened, and I think I pretty much never thought about it again up until I was 14, and I remember watching the Miss World finals again, and it was being telecasted on a television channel, and I remember watching the finals, and suddenly, you know, my interest into the competition sparked, because I realized that this is so much more. It's a platform for young girls from every field. You could be anyone from anywhere, and it's a great platform to get visibility, which also increases the amount of opportunities you have. Where I come from, growing up, you know, you had to either choose to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. I remember my relatives telling me, "Koi baat nahi beta, kuch nahi hua to graduation ke baad IAS ki tayari kar lena." So, you know, those were the options that I grew up with. Acting was never a plan. It happened pretty much after winning Miss World. I went to Miss World thinking that it's a great platform, a great experience, and then let's see what happens. And you know, I always tell this to people who come to me and they tell me that, so if we want to be actors, what do we do? And I say that I'm the wrong person to ask that question, because I'm not one of those who would leave everything.
I'm delighted that the Republic Plenary Summit is being held on March 6th. I've been a participant in the summit in earlier years. It's a remarkable event. I wish it all the best and all success.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
You know, was going through your entire journey. How did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this. We all love to be princesses, and that was the idea in a 4-year-old girl's mind, that Miss India means you get to be the princess of the country, and that's what I thought. Then, I mean, life happened, and I think I pretty much never thought about it again up until I was 14, and I remember watching the Miss World finals again.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
You know, just going through your entire journey, how did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well,
इसके मूल में ट्रस्ट है, लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों में साझा विश्वास है, शेयर्ड प्रोग्रेस और प्रॉस्पेरिटी के लिए साझा कमिटमेंट है। इसी स्पिरिट में कल और आज अलग अलग सेक्टर की लगभग 20 मंत्री स्तर की बैठकें हुई है। विभिन्न क्षेत्रीय और वैश्विक मुद्दों पर सिंसियर और मीनिंगफुल चर्चा हुई है। हमारी पार्टनरशिप को एलिवेट और एक्सेलरेट करने के लिए कई महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय लिए गए हैं। ट्रेड, टेक्नोलॉजी, इन्वेस्टमेंट, इनोवेशन, ग्रीन ग्रोथ, सिक्योरिटी, स्किलिंग और मोबिलिटी पर सहयोग का एक ब्लूप्रिंट तैयार किया गया है। हमने अपनी टीम्स को एक पारस्परिक लाभकारी बायलैटरल फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट को, एफटीए को इस वर्ष के अंत तक संपन्न करने का निर्देश दिया है। फ्रेंड्स, इन्वेस्टमेंट फ्रेमवर्क मजबूत करने के लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोटेक्शन और जीआई एग्रीमेंट पर भी आगे बढ़ने की बात हुई है। टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन के क्षेत्र में एक ट्रस्टेड और सिक्योर वैल्यू चेन हमारी साझी प्राथमिकता है। सेमीकंडक्टर, एआई, हाई परफॉर्मेंस कंप्यूटिंग और 6G में सहयोग बढ़ाने पर भी सहमति बनी है। हमने एक स्पेस डायलॉग शुरू करने का निर्णय भी लिया है। फ्रेंड्स, इकोलॉजी और इकोनॉमी का बैलेंस हमारी साझी प्रतिबद्धता रही है और इस दिशा में हमारा मजबूत सहयोग रहा है। हमने ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन फोरम और ऑफशोर विंड एनर्जी बिजनेस समिट करने का निर्णय लिया है। ईवी बैटरीज, मरीन प्लास्टिक्स और ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन में जॉइंट रिसर्च किया जाएगा। साथ ही सस्टेनेबल अर्बन डेवलपमेंट पर हम अपने जॉइंट प्लान को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। कनेक्टिविटी के क्षेत्र में इंडिया, मिडिल ईस्ट, यूरोप इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर यानी आईमेक उसे आगे ले जाने के लिए ठोस कदम उठाए जाएंगे। मुझे विश्वास है कि आईमेक ग्लोबल कॉमर्स, सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ और प्रॉस्पेरिटी को ड्राइव करने वाला इंजन साबित होगा। फ्रेंड्स, रक्षा और सुरक्षा से जुड़े मुद्दों पर हमारा बढ़ता सहयोग आपसी विश्वास का प्रतीक है। साइबर सिक्योरिटी, मैरीटाइम सुरक्षा और काउंटर टेररिज्म पर हम सहयोग के लिए आगे बढ़ेंगे। इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र में शांति, सुरक्षा, स्थिरता और समृद्धि के महत्व पर दोनों पक्ष एकमत है। इंडो पैसिफिक ओशंस इनिशिएटिव्स, इससे जुड़ने के ईयू के निर्णय का हम स्वागत करते हैं। इंडो पैसिफिक और अफ्रीका में सस्टेनेबल और समावेशी विकास के लिए हम साथ मिलकर ट्रायंगुलर डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स पर काम करेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्ट हमारे संबंधों का स्ट्रांगेस्ट एसेट है। हमारे बीच एकेडेमिया, रिसर्च और इंडस्ट्री पार्टनरशिप बढ़ाने पर भी आज नई सहमति बनी है। मेरा मानना है कि इंडियाज यंग टैलेंट यानी यूरोप से इनोवेशन कैन टुगेदर क्रिएट लिमिटलेस पॉसिबिलिटीज। हम ईयू की नई वीजा कैस्केड रेजिम का स्वागत करते हैं। इससे भारत के टैलेंटेड युवाओं की एबिलिटी को बेहतर मोबिलिटी मिलेगी। हमने आज तय किया है कि 2025 से आगे के समय के लिए भारत ईयू पार्टनरशिप का एक बोल्ड और एम्बिशियस रोड मैप बनाएंगे। इसका लॉन्च अगली भारत ईयू समिट के दौरान होगा। एक्सेलेंसी, आपकी इस भारत यात्रा से हमारी पार्टनरशिप को नई गति, ऊर्जा और उत्साह मिला है। ये यात्रा हमारे एम्बिशन को एक्शन में ट्रांसलेट करने का सबसे बड़ा कैटलिस्ट है। मैं अगली भारत ईयू समिट के लिए आपका एक बार फिर से भारत में स्वागत करने के लिए तत्पर रहूंगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. May I now request Her Excellency Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, to give her remarks to the media.
Prime Minister Modi, dear Narendra, Ministers, Commissioners, Excellencies, friends, thank you very much for the very warm welcome. It is a taste of India's legendary hospitality, and today is no ordinary day. Europe and India are coming together, and as I read in the news, so are the planets. Indeed, today, 7 planets in our solar system come into perfect alignment. And that is a very outstanding event. And they say that this event signals transformation and growth. And that's exactly the moment we find ourselves in. The planets are aligned, and so are Europe and India. I'm here today with the whole College of Commissioners. And indeed, it is our first visit outside Europe since we took office in December. And this shows how much we value our partnership. We want to take it to new heights. India is a like-minded friend. We are the 2 largest democracies in the world.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
You know, was going through your entire journey. How did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this, we all love to be princesses, and that was the idea in a 4-year-old girl's mind, that Miss India means you get to be the princess of the country, and that's what I thought. Then, I mean, life happened, and I think I pretty much never thought about it again up until I was 14, and I remember watching the Miss World finals again, and it was being telecasted on a television channel, and I remember watching the finals, and suddenly, you know, my interest into the competition sparked, because I realized that this is so much more. It's a platform for young girls from every field. You could be anyone from anywhere, and it's a great platform to get visibility, which also increases the amount of opportunities you have. Where I come from, growing up, you know, you had to either choose to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. I remember my relatives telling me, "Koi baat nahi beta, kuch nahi hua to graduation ke baad IAS ki tayari kar lena." So, you know, those were the options that I grew up with. Acting was never a plan. It happened pretty much after winning Miss World. I went to Miss World thinking that it's a great platform, a great experience, and then let's see what happens. And you know, I always tell this to people who come to me and they tell me that, so if we want to be actors, what do we do? And I say that I'm the wrong person to ask that question, because I'm not one of those who would leave everything and just go to Mumbai to become an actor. I believe in having a certain level of security before you try something new in life. There is a certain risk attached to it, but I think that has to be a calculated amount of risk that you need to take. That's how I've been brought up. So it was only after I won Miss World and after I had that platform, when I got the right kind of opportunities, when I transitioned into films. And I guess that's how acting happened.
Okay.
everyone, this is Ranveer Brar and I'm honored to be speaking at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025, India's most powerful gathering of leaders, visionaries and changemakers. Under the theme of Limitless India, we celebrate the spirit of innovation that has shaped our country and its future. It's going to be a power-packed summit and you can join me as we discuss the next chapter of India's transformation. See you at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on the 6th of March, only on Republic Media Network.
Hi
Hi guys, this is Sania Mirza and I will be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This is India's largest summit organized by Republic Media, India's leading news network. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. See you all there.
Top headlines, viewers. A glacier burst takes place in Badrinath. 57 BRO workers are feared buried under the snow. Orange alert in high altitude areas. BJP ups the ante against Aam Aadmi Party, says CAG report on health department policies will expose how AAP government looted taxpayers' money. Over 72 hours later, Pune police ring fence and detain rape accused from the sugarcane field. After Allahabad High Court verdict, ASI to conduct second round of inspection of Shahi Jama Masjid in Sambhal.
Through Global Gateway, that is our €300 billion infrastructure offer for infrastructure abroad. Through Global Gateway, we can invest in projects that transport energy across India and between India and the world.
EU President Ursula von der Leyen meets PM Modi. Jaishankar in National Capital confirms the largest free trade deal between India and the European Union. We are live and breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla. Getting you some more updates coming in. Ahead of the tabling of the CAG report today, the BJP has now criticized the Delhi government's liquor policy, accusing it of gross irregularities and wasting people's hard-earned money. Now, the BJP claims that the Aam Aadmi Party, which calls itself transparent, has engaged in corruption and promised to recover the money for Delhi's residents. Okay, so remember that the CAG report is going to be tabled. This is the second CAG report which will be tabled later on in the day in the Delhi Assembly. We can expect a lot of fireworks later on in the day. This CAG report will be on the health infrastructure, but at the same time, we are seeing that the BJP has not only hit out at the Aam Aadmi Party for the liquor policy, but also the health systems. We're getting some reactions coming in. Let's go ahead and play them out.
अब देखिए कि जिस प्रकार की घोर अनियमितताएं इस लिकर पॉलिसी में की गई, जिस तरह से जनता की गाड़ी कमाई को भ्रष्टाचार में डुबो दिया गया, जिस तरीके से सभी नियम और कायदे कानूनों को ताक पे रख दिया गया, लाइसेंस बांट दिए गए, कमीशन को बढ़ा दिया गया, खुदरा जो रिटेल शॉप्स थी वो बढ़ा दी गई, जो मानक थे BIS के उनका पालन नहीं किया गया। ये सारे के सारे विषय जो लगातार एक लंबी रिपोर्ट है CAG की इसमें आई है, और अभी तो जो सरकारी अधिकारी हैं उनके पास 1 महीने का समय सभापति जी ने दिया है, उस पर उनकी टिप्पणी आएंगी। इसके बाद PAC में ये पूरा विषय जाएगा और निश्चित रूप से दिल्ली के जनता के साथ जो बड़ा भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है, जिस प्रकार से घोर अनियमितताएं हुई हैं, और अपने आप को पारदर्शी कहने वाली पार्टी जिसने दिल्ली के लोगों के साथ धोखा किया, बड़ा भ्रष्टाचार किया, तो निश्चित रूप से एक एक पैसा दिल्ली के लोगों का वापस आने की अब तैयारी है।
आज अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के घोटालों की एक और कैग रिपोर्ट दिल्ली के विधानसभा के पटल पर रखी जाएगी। किस तरह से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने हॉस्पिटल सेहत सर्विसेज के नाम के ऊपर दिल्ली को लूटने का काम किया, हॉस्पिटल बनाने के नाम के ऊपर किस तरह से तय बजट से 350 करोड़ रुपया फालतू जो उन्होंने करप्शन के लिए अपनी जेबों में डालने का काम किया, किस तरह से मोहल्ला क्लिनिक जिनको कहते थे अमेरिका कनाडा देखने आता, उसमें बिजली ही नहीं थी, बिना बिजली के मोहल्ला क्लिनिक चले और उनको किराया भी देता रहे और लूटते रहे दोनों हाथों से दिल्ली को जो लूटने का काम किया था। आज दूसरी कैग रिपोर्ट भी बताएगी, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी आपके सारे चिट्ठे खोलेगी और बताएगी कि तुम कट्टर बेईमान हो, कट्टर बेईमान हो।
All right, let's go straight to Riyanka who's joining us. Riyanka, you know, the BJP, I mean, we were discussing this earlier, has already pulled up Aam Aadmi Party over the two issues, which is liquor policy and the health systems. The CAG report on health will be tabled. We can expect a lot of fireworks. When will that happen, Riyanka? We are waiting for that big development to come in.
Well, the session is already underway at it as it began towards the second half of the day today, and there are leaders who are at the moment talking about issues at their, their particular constituency, and soon after that we are expecting Chief Minister Rekha Gupta to be tabling this another CAG report, which will be the audit of the health system in the national capital that had happened during the regime of Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, we have also seen the BJP already hitting out at Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party for causing corruption, because there have been finances losses that has been suffered, because we saw that there was a loss of around 2,000 crores, more than that rather, in the liquor policy, and also more is expected to be seen as and when the CAG report on health infrastructure is going to be tabled. We already know because we accessed a few details, we understand that there were already a huge amount of money which was given by the central government to the Delhi government, out of which probably around 50% of that money was not spent. And the BJP there also claiming that they have started the procedure of recovering that money which was given by the central government and not utilized by the Aam Aadmi Party. The money, the taxpayers' money, will be recovered, and those who have been involved in corruption will be punished.
All right, thank you for joining us, Riyanka. We're coming back to you as we keep an eye on the Delhi Assembly developments. We move ahead right now, viewers, because we have to go to Tamil Nadu. And in Tamil Nadu Governor Arvind has waded into the ongoing language row, claiming that the state's rigid two-language policy has deprived youth in southern Tamil Nadu of opportunities. He has labelled the region as a neglected backyard and calling it unfair. In response, the ruling DMK party sharply criticized Ravi's remarks, accusing him of spewing hatred against Tamil Nadu. Okay, back-to-back updates coming in right now, viewers, on Republic TV. And remember that the Tamil Nadu language debate has been ongoing for a while with a lot of to and fro and statements coming in from both the centre and Tamil Nadu CM. And I just want to go across to my colleague joining us right now. Yes, Shraddha joining us live. First, we saw a protest earlier in the day. DMK student wing was protesting, holding a black flag protest. This time, Tamil Nadu governor has also waded in the ongoing language row. If you could take our viewers through what he has said. Yes.
Well, the DMK student wing protest had a protest today morning fighting against the third language imposition and the NEP policy in the state. And now Ravi, the governor of the state, actually had an private event last evening where he met multiple people from the different professions, multiple leaders of the health, education sector. Speaking at the private event at the Raj Bhavan, the governor added that it is the two-language policy that's been followed by the state is rigid, and that the state government run by the Stalin and the DMK has been constantly focusing only on the two-language policy, which has actually lacked the opportunities to the government school students who only get to learn Tamil and English and not another third language, or especially Hindi or Malayalam or Kannada, where they could go to Bangalore or Delhi or Mumbai, where they could go for better work opportunities. And RNV also noted that DMK is only politicizing the issue and that it was a cheap tactic of the ruling government.
All right, thank you for joining us, Shraddha, with all those details. I'll be coming back to you because the language debate is getting quite intense. We'll move ahead, viewers, because a tragic news is coming in from Badrinath, where a massive glacier burst has taken place. It is pertinent to note that the avalanche tragedy has buried around 57 BRO labourers. Rescue mission is on. These labourers are trapped in the avalanche near Mana, Uttarakhand's Chamoli district. Chamoli's district magistrate office said that the army, police personnel have been deployed to rescue efforts. Significantly, 10 workers, 10 to 15 workers have been rescued and shifted to the army hospital by the authorities, are in serious condition as well. 15 workers have been rescued and they are being treated. CM Pushkar Singh Dhami has said that relief and rescue operations are being carried out by IT, BP, BRO and other rescue teams. Okay, so we'll try to, of course, get you more updates on that. This is an ongoing developing story. Let's go ahead and play out what the Uttarakhand CM had to say a short while back.
BRO के हमारे 57 श्रमिक उसमें फंसे थे और लॉन्च आने से इसमें से 16 को सुरक्षित निकाल लिया गया है। बाकी के लिए सभी प्रयास चल रहे हैं। सभी प्रकार की तैयारियां यहाँ पर कर ली गई हैं। एम्बुलेंस से लेकर आईटीबीपी की मदद ली जा रही है, अन्य संस्थाओं की मदद ली जा रही है। आपदा प्रबंधन विभाग हमारा पूरी तरह से सक्रिय, जिला प्रशासन भी, और हम लोग स्वयं सभी लोग लगातार संपर्क में हैं और हमारा प्रयास है कि सभी को सुरक्षित जल्दी से जल्दी बाहर निकाला जाए।
मौसम निदेशालय के अनुसार जो ऑरेंज अलर्ट हमें प्राप्त हुआ था, तो भारी बारिश और बर्फबारी जनपद में चल रही है। जो हाइट्स वाले एरिया हैं, बद्रीनाथ धाम, हनुमान चट्टी, नीति मलारी के एरिया और औली में, वहाँ बर्फबारी हो रही है और बाकी तहसीलों में लगातार बारिश चल रही है। तो अभी फ़िलहाल कोई मेजर रोड हमारा अवरुद्ध नहीं है, लेकिन 4-5 ब्लॉक्स में गैरसैंण, देवाल, नारायणबगड़, थराली और जोशीमठ के कुछ हिस्सों में बिजली आपूर्ति फीडर में खराबी आने के कारण बाधित हुई है, जिस पर अभी टेक्निकल टीम काम कर रही है और बारिश के कारण उन्हें दिक्कत आ रही है काम करने में। आशा है कि जैसे ही मौसम थोड़ा सा अनुकूल होगा तो ये बिजली सप्लाई रिस्टोर कर दी जाएगी। और जहाँ भी हमें कहीं सूचना प्राप्त हो रही है, जैसे जोशीमठ वाली रोड अभी बर्फ़ से बंद है, मंडल चोपता रोड बंद है, तो कंसर्न एजेंसीज वहाँ जीसीबी और अन्य मशीन भेज के रास्ता साफ करवा रही है और अभी स्थिति सामान्य बनी हुई है। किसी तरह की कोई प्रतिकूल खबर हमारे पास नहीं है।
अभी जैसे कि आपको मालूम होगा कि अभी मॉर्निंग आवर्स में माणा गेट के सामने जो बीआरओ का कैंप था, उसके ऊपर में एक हिमखंड गिरा है और अभी उसके बारे में और भी क्लैरिटी मिल जाएगी जैसे जैसे मौसम साफ होगा। उसमें से 10 लोगों को रेस्क्यू करा लिया गया है और 47 की अभी ढूंढ हो रही है और ऐसा नहीं है कि वो मिसिंग हैं, उनके बारे में पूरी ढूंढ की जा रही है। और साथ ही जो हमारी जितनी भी रेस्क्यू एजेंसीज़ हैं उसमें एनडीआरएफ, एसडीआरएफ और साथ में हमारे जो आईटीबीपी का जो कैंप है उसकी जो टेक्निकल टीम्स हैं जो मॉनिटरिंग में उसी टेक्निक में वो लोग बहुत दक्ष हैं, वो टीम भी हमने वहाँ पे भेजी है। और मेडिकल साइड से भी हमने जितनी भी हमारी टीम्स होती हैं आर्मी की टीम से, वो भी हम लोगों ने वहाँ पे डिप्लॉय कर दी है।
All right, let's go across to my colleague joining us. Ratan Negi is joining us live. He's a little bit close. I believe, Ratan Negi, if you can take our viewers through what exactly is happening. You're somewhere in that area. And if you could take our viewers through what the rescue operation is looking like. We know teams have been deployed, 15 workers approximately have been rescued, but many more still remain trapped under the heavy snow. Ratan, what is happening?
देखिए, आज सुबह की लगभग ये तड़के की घटना है और उसके बाद से जब इसकी पूरी जानकारी मिली तो शासन प्रशासन लैंडवा मुख्यमंत्री धामी के निर्देश पर लगातार इस वक्त रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चल रहा है। मुख्यमंत्री प्रदेश के धामी स्वयं पूरे रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन पर नजर रखे हुए हैं। अब तक 16 लोगों को यहाँ पर निकाल लिया गया है, लेकिन अगर बात की जाए बर्फबारी वहां पर लगातार निश्चित तौर से वहां पर हो रही है। रास्ते वहां पर कटे हुए, अगर रास्ते की बात की जाए तो चमोली, जोशीमठ, नंदप्रयाग की अगर बात की जाए तो वो पूरा रास्ता पहाड़ को जाता है, उस रास्ते को यहाँ पर ब्लॉक किया गया है। लेकिन जो एसडीआरएफ की टीम है वो रास्ते को साफ करते हुए आगे निकल रही है। इसके साथ बात की जाए तो आईटीबीपी, बीआरओ और अन्य जो एसडीआरएफ की टीम है वो राहत बचाव कार्य ऑपरेशन उनका लगातार जारी है। देहरादून का शहजादारा का हेलीपैड देहरादून का है। इसके साथ अगर हम बात करें एयर एम्बुलेंस की व्यवस्था यहाँ पर की गई है। जोलीकान अस्पताल पर अगर जरूरत पड़ती है तो यहाँ पर एयर एम्बुलेंस के जरिए उनको यहाँ पर लाया जाएगा अगर मौसम ने साथ दिया। 16 लोगों को सुरक्षित निकाला गया है। उनका इलाज इस वक्त बात की जाए तो माणा में जो अस्पताल है वहां पर इलाज चल रहा है। और इसके साथ ही जो तमाम प्रशासनिक टीम है वो लगातार प्रयास कर रही है कि जल्द से जल्द जो तमाम और 42 लगभग 41 माफ कीजिएगा, जो 41 हमारे मजदूर भाई है उनको जल्द से जल्द निकाला जाए। मौसम बाधा जरूर बन रहा है लेकिन रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन लगातार इस वक्त जारी है। मुख्यमंत्री की स्वयं पूरे इस रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन पूरी नजर है।
All right, thank you for joining us, Ratan. I will be coming back to you because this is the ongoing rescue operation. We have to take a short break right now. Much more coming up as we are live and breaking.
NEP and third language implementation in the state. The DMK student wing protesters are outside IIT fighting against the Ministry of Education, flagging a black flag protest, stating that they would not accept NEP or Hindi imposition in the state. More updates coming up from Chennai. We'll be right back after a short break.
I'm delighted that the Republic TV is doing a program which is titled appropriately Limitless India, which includes Inclusive India. India has been limitless in thought because it never circumscribed its thoughts that this is the only way to go. We are limitless in our thought, in our reach, in our inclusiveness. And I am happy that such a great initiative is being undertaken. All my best wishes and blessings to Republic TV and Arvind.
You know, was going through your entire journey, how did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this, we all love to be princesses, and that was the idea in a 4-year-old girl's mind, that Miss India means you get to be the princess of the country, and that's what I thought. Then, I mean, life happened, and I think I pretty much never thought about it again up until I was 14, and I remember watching the Miss World finals again, and it was being telecasted on a television channel, and I remember watching the finals, and suddenly, you know, my interest into the competition sparked, because I realized that this is so much more. It's a platform for young girls from every field. You could be anyone from anywhere, and it's a great platform to get visibility, which also increases the amount of opportunities you have. Where I come from, growing up, you know, you had to either choose to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. I remember my relatives telling me, कोई बात नहीं बेटा, कुछ नहीं हुआ तो graduation के बाद IAS की तैयारी कर लेना. So, you know, those were the options that I grew up with. Acting was never a plan. It happened pretty much after winning Miss World. I went to Miss World thinking that it's a great platform, a great experience, and then let's see what happens. And you know, I always tell this to people who come to me and they tell me that, so if we want to be actors, what do we do? And I say that I'm the wrong person to ask that question, because I'm not one of those who would leave everything and just go to Mumbai to become an actor. I believe in having a certain level of security before you try something new in life. There is a certain risk attached to it, but I think that has to be a calculated amount of risk that you need to take. That's how I've been brought up. So it was only after I won Miss World and after I had that platform, when I got the right kind of opportunities, when I transitioned into films. And I guess that's how acting happened.
Okay.
Hello everyone, this is Ranveer Brar and I'm honored to be speaking at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025, India's most powerful gathering of leaders, visionaries and change makers. Under the theme of Limitless India, we celebrate the spirit of innovation that has shaped our country and its future. It's going to be a power-packed summit, and you can join me as we discuss the next chapter of India's transformation. See you at the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on the 6th of March, only on Republic Media Network.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
You know, was going through your entire journey. How did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this. We all love to be princesses, and that was the idea in a 4-year-old girl's mind that Miss India means you get to be the princess of the country, and that's what I thought. Then, I mean, life happened, and I think I pretty much never thought about it again up until I was 14, and I remember watching the Miss World finals again, and it was being telecasted on a television channel, and I remember watching the finals, and suddenly, you know, my interest into the competition sparked because I realized that this is so much more. It's a platform for young girls from every field. You could be anyone from anywhere, and it's a great platform to get visibility, which also increases the amount of opportunities you have. Where I come from, growing up, you know, you had to either choose to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. I remember my relatives telling me, "Koi baat nahi beta, kuch nahi hua to graduation ke baad IAS ki tayari kar lena." So, you know, those were the options that I grew up with. Acting was never a plan. It happened pretty much after winning Miss World. I went to Miss World thinking that it's a great platform, a great experience, and then let's see what happens. And you know, I always tell this to people who come to me and they tell me that, so if we want to be actors, what do we do? And I say that I'm the wrong person to ask that question because I'm not one of those who would leave everything and just go to Mumbai to become an actor. I believe in having a certain level of security before you try something new in life. There is a certain risk attached to it, but I think that has to be a calculated amount of risk that you need to take. That's how I've been brought up. So it was only after I won Miss World and after I had that platform, when I got the right kind of opportunities, when I transitioned into films. And I guess that's how acting happened.
Okay.
Hi, this is Adnan Sami here, and I'll be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This happens to be India's largest news event, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Save this date. I will see you on March 6th.
Hi guys, this is Sania Mirza and I will be attending the Republic Plenary Summit 2025 on March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. This is India's largest summit organized by Republic Media, India's leading news network. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. See you all there.
Hello everyone, how you doing? Namaskar, I'm Ricky Cage and I'm super excited that on the 6th of March, I'm going to be at the Republic Plenary Summit. It's going to be absolutely awesome and it's happening at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. So remember, let us see each other at the Republic Plenary Summit March 6th at Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi. See you there.
the Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries, Category 3, Deep Tech and Semiconductors.
Deep tech, which could be either quantum computing, futuristic materials, genomics, biotech engineering, is what is going to drive India's innovation and change for the next decade. So I'm very excited that Republic Media Network is organizing a hackathon called the Limitless Hackathon for Youth. And this is an opportunity for anyone under 30 to be able to come out there with your ideas on deep tech. So if you have that idea, if you strongly believe in it, please do send in your...
You know, was going through your entire journey. How did acting happen? And before that, what pushed you into competing in the Miss World pageant, right? You're from a family of doctors.
Yes.
Your parents are doctors.
Yes.
You were studying medicine.
Yes, I was.
And how did Miss World happen?
Well, I think every girl growing up always has this, we all